I just want to start by saying a huge thank you to everyone who's come down and supported the show. My name's Tim, I'm the organiser of VauxALL. 6 months have gone into planning this show. And I never expected to see 500 cars here with us. I think about 800 people have pre-booked to come here, so it's just incredible. So a huge thank you to each and every one of you who's come out and supported VauxALL. I hope you're going to have a fantastic day. I did ask for sunny weather. Okay, I did ask for sunny weather. I asked Tom Karen, wherever Tom's gone, if any of you have watched the videos on the build-up to this show, you'll have seen me meeting with Tom from the museum, and I did ask him specifically for sunny weather. As you can see, he hasn't held up his side of the bargain, but hopefully next year we will have sunnier weather. So coming up for you today, we've got a full arena schedule. We're going to kick things off in just a minute with our show sponsor, Abbeyfield's Insurance. I'm really pleased that we've managed to get a show sponsor on. A lot of people don't realise how much does go into organising a show. It's not just the promotion, the marketing and getting people here. There's things like paperwork, like public liability insurance and things like that. Things that if things go wrong, you've got to have that cover. So a big thank you to Abbeyfield's Insurance, who stepped up, not only sponsored the show, but also were the public liability insurance provider for the show. So a huge thank you to them. Now, as you go around the show, it's been laid out in a timeline format. So as you come out of the museum, you can see that we've got our 60 Years of Viva, celebrating 60 years of the Vauxhall Viva. We'll be having those in the arena later on this morning. And then as you go through, we've got things like Droop, Snoots, Mantas, we've got the VBOA here, just Opel Vauxhall, we've got, who else have we got? I could see here, we've got Chevettes, Kaddetts, we've got All-New Astra, we've got literally a whole range, Club Calibra, and then you go into your more modern stuff over here with the insignia culture, Astra VXR J. We've also got the VXR Owners Club. Big thank you to VXR Owners Club. They brought down about 40 cars, just that one club. So a big thank you to those guys. And then as you head up over in the top direction over there, those are all of our individual entries. So you can see a real eclectic mix of different cars here, all of which are of course Vauxhall, Opel and Bedford. I do believe we've had a Bedford lorry turn up as well. Just outside, if you have a look behind you, you can see that grey building over there, the collection centre. Just outside of there, there's a fantastic demonstration and a stand of the Street Van Association, but also there's some brilliant rally cars out there. There's a Manta out there and also a Calibra rally car out there as well. So please do go over and see that, have a look at that. And of course, Mr. Whippy, he's here with us. Obviously, hopefully, it's going to be warm enough for you later to be able to enjoy a nice, cold ice cream. Of course, British Motor Museum's open. If you've not been in there, if you've never been to the British Motor Museum, an amazing collection of cars in there, and the Vauxhall Heritage Collection's in there as well. It's a bit tricky to find. You need to look for the mezzanine. It's got its own individual area, which you can go up there and have a good look around. And right at the very top is the cafe as well, so you can get something a bit warm. Farmhouse Kitchen's open as well, so you can get yourself something nice and warm there. So ladies and gentlemen, all that's left for me to say is it's a very big thank you for you coming down and supporting VauxALL. I hope you're going to have a brilliant day. We're going to keep you entertained now with a full morning of arena activity, then we'll have a lunch break, and then we're going to carry on with our arena activities later on this afternoon. And we're going to start by talking about, it doesn't sound very exciting of course, we're going to start by talking about insurance. So can I ask you to give a nice warm welcome to Abbeyfield's Insurance. Now come on over, so give them a nice warm welcome. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, Tim, thank you. Yeah.
Very good. Now, I want to make it very clear that we don't practice things or do anything like that. So I've told you roughly what we're going to talk about, but you've not seen this car before. No. You don't know much about this car.
No.
I've told you a tiny little bit, but that's it. Who can tell me what this is very quickly? Someone shout. There it is, Tickford Calibra, straight in. So if you were just to stand back and look at this and look at the Calibras behind you, there you go, right, it's just a Calibra. However, there are some little factors on here. You can see there's a Tickford badge there, and also those of you will notice that the alloys are different on this as well. If you get a chance to have a look inside, you'll see that the inside of it is very different as well. Now, not only is this quite rare because it's on a J plate, a very early Calibra, and we know that Calibras were always fantastic parts cars, which is one of the reasons there's hardly any of them left. But this one is exceptionally rare because 26 of them went down to Tickford after they were purchased by the owners, and they had a Tickford conversion put on them. Now, they wanted to do a lot of things with the engine. As you know, Tickford, they did things like the RS 500 Cosworth and so forth, but Vauxhall wouldn't let them. They said, no, we've got something coming, they've got the Calibra Turbo coming, we don't want you messing around with this and basically embarrassing us. So you can do anything visual but nothing on the engine. So inside there you've got bespoke leather, you've got bespoke steering wheel, everything on it was very, very coach built and bespoke. And Tickford, I think, go back to something like the 1820s or something like that. So it is quite a special car in its own right. There was 26 of them converted. This is the only one that's on the road. Okay, it's the only one that's on the road. There are a few out there, but this is the only one that I certainly know of that's on the road. And this is where I want to talk to you guys. Now, when it comes to car insurance, it's necessary, and we always think cost, price, what's the lowest that we can get to. You always see, so, has anyone got anything cheaper? But if you just to ring up a high street brand and so forth, they would look at this and go, right, J-Reg Calibra, right, that's it. They wouldn't understand it. Abbeyfields are a little bit different because you have an account manager. You have somebody who knows you, knows your car, is actually invested in looking after your car. Now, if anything was to happen to this, if it was a normal insurance company, they would look at it and go, J-Reg Calibra, value it at a couple of £100 and probably end up scrapping it. Of course, it's worth so much more than that. So when you approach insurance, and you guys are just staying there, you're doing quotes and so forth today, when you were to, say, for example, the owner of this rang you up and explained that to you, your account manager is going to take time to understand it.
Exactly, yeah. You'll realise that it's a Tickford, which obviously makes a massive difference to any sort of value on any of the cars. It's unique, so everything needs to be looked at in a unique manner. It's got to be insured for the right sort of value. It's not just any old Calibra.
Exactly. Now, when it comes to like actually getting the insurance and so forth, if I'm right, you're effectively a broker and you speak to different underwriters.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So talk to me how that works, because someone like me or anyone around here, they might not necessarily understand the difference between, say, broker and underwriter.
A broker, we take the risk details and approach the insurers. In effect, sell the risk to the insurers. So everybody is different in the classic car world. People may have a more modern car but treat it as a classic, so we will look at it as a classic. So that's where Abbeyfields differ to your local high street broker and some of the other specialists out there.
And you guys who are sat in the office and your account managers and so forth who you speak to, you are genuinely interested in cars. It's not just a job that you turn up to and you're answering the phones, pop the details in and send out a quote.
Not at all. We're all enthusiasts. I own 4 cars. The Abbeyfields themselves own the Escort RS 2000 that's on our stand. So we've recently brought that to show that we are genuinely interested in the classic car world. And obviously it's useful for us to come to shows with it and show it off, and it's a tool that gets us around, but in a nice way.
Well, exactly. What better way to go to classic car shows and specialist car shows than in effectively what is now becoming a classic. We're moving almost from modern classic to classic. So something like this, it is a special car in its own right. You might just look at it on face value and not fully understand it, but then when you actually scratch beneath the surface, you realise its true value, and it's completely different.
Yeah, it's a completely different animal when you look at some of the cars like this. It's not just the Calibra Tickford, it's like the Tickford Caprice, for example, or the RS 500s, which you touched on earlier. Even modern RS Focuses, if they're treated right and looked after, we will look at them as a classic car rather than an everyday mainstream car.
Now, for you, where do you lie on modified cars and so forth? Because you can see there's plenty of great examples here of originality, but there's also a fair few modified cars as well.
It all depends on what's been done to the car. Has it been done professionally? But most things we will look at and consider, providing it's been done right. It's not just thrown together, so to speak. We will certainly have a look at it for you.
Fantastic. So, I guess the message that I'm trying to put across to you here, not only as a thank you to Abbeyfield to come along supporting the show, is for you to really actually think of your insurance as something as potentially as important as your tyres, your brakes, as anything that you're going to put on your car, because God forbid anything does happen, and I've got personal experience of this. Last November I had somebody plough into the back of my daily driver, wrote it off. He was on the phone, not paying attention. Dual carriageway, I'd stopped. He didn't. He used me to stop the car. And that's when all of the insurance really kicked in. It's my first experience of actually going through that insurance process. And it can make the world a difference. You don't want to be, saving a couple of quid here when actually you're not getting the right level of cover. Please do go and see the guys at Abbeyfield. They are next door to Blue Pig Photos and Zirconite. They will obviously give you a quote and take down your details, but also you can just actually have a chat with them about your current insurance policy and get some advice. It's not a hard sell. These guys are not here just to sell insurance. They're here to help you and to help keep this scene alive, because insurance is necessary, and God forbid any of you do need it, you should have the right cover. Just to say, how fabulous is this?
That's beautiful. It really is a nice car.
Ever seen one?
No, not a Tickford. It looked nice in my garage.
It certainly would. Who's seen a Tickford Calibra before? Quickly, couple of you have. I bet most of you didn't even know they existed, right? There you go. So wonderful to have this here, and this is really what I wanted to achieve with VauxALL, was to celebrate all Vauxhalls, Opels and Bedfords, whether it's your daily driver or as something as rare and as unique as Tickford Calibra. I wanted it to come here and celebrate the whole brand. So a big thank you to the owner of this car for bringing it in, and a huge thank you to Abbeyfield Insurance for sponsoring the show. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to move on to next, I do believe we've got our Vivas coming in and joining us, so we're going to move the Tickford out back over to the individual exhibition area. It's actually parked just in the bottom arena down here along that back wall. So if you want to have a closer look at it, please do. Please do go and have a look at the interior on this car. You can see how Tickford have breathed on it and what they've done with it. So that is our Tickford Calibra and Abbeyfield Insurance, our show sponsor. Coming up next then, we're going to celebrate 60 years of the Vauxhall Viva. That'll be coming up in the arena in the next few minutes. So then, ladies and gents, we're going to start by talking about these fantastic Vauxhall Vivas. 60 years of the Viva. I can't believe it's 60 years of the Viva. I really cannot believe that. With fantastic Viva inside the museum as well. Now, I believe this one's yours down here, isn't it? Right, come on then. Let's have a talk about the Viva, and let's talk about your Viva. We'll start by talking about the Viva. How long have you been involved in the Viva?
About 1995 I started.
95, so let me get that. I'm trying to work that out now. You're coming up to 30 years in with the Viva.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
What attracted you to it?
I saw this car advertised with a 2.3 engine, and I thought, I'll have a go at that.
Yeah, very good, very good. And talk me through this particular model. What year is it?
This is a 1968 1159 cc with a Brabham conversion.
And what is the Brabham conversion?
Well, if somebody wanted a new car, they ordered a SL90, which was the highest spec from the manufacturer, and at the dealership, the Brabham conversion was fitted, depending on how much of the list of bits you bought.
Yeah.
The basic Brabham, I believe, was a twin carb conversion with a badge on the back. Then you could go on and have your stripes, your wooden steering wheel, banded wheels, and go as far as a float head, and the list was endless.
How many on that list has yours got ticked?
Oh, now you're asking.
A fair few, because I can see we've got the bands down the side. I'm having a quick gander inside. Yeah, we've got the wooden steering wheel.
Wooden steering, the wooden gear knob, the badge on the back. The banded wheels are at home, but I prefer these.
That's fair enough. It's your car, your preference, and I have to say thank you so much for bringing it down. The Viva stand looks amazing.
Yeah, well, 3 clubs have collaborated, and we did our best to do the 60, but I'm afraid we seem to have failed by a few.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll give it. We'll send the photos to them and say, look, this is what you could have done. As you can see, we've got a few photographers around. Adam, right? So your job now, okay, is take photos of all of them, change the colours, number plates, make sure there's 60 on there, and I can get my news story out on Monday. Thank you. So we'll just Photoshop it in. It'll be fine, right?
Lovely job.
Right, let's move on to you then, sir. Tell me, what year is this?
65.
65. So is this a HA?
HA, yeah. It was actually built in December 64 and first registered it on March the 13th, 1965.
How long have you had it?
I've had it since 2012.
Since 2012. So you've had it over 10 years now.
Yeah.
Why a Viva?
Why not?
It's a good question, isn't it? It's a good answer as well.
When I was younger, I had a van.
Yep.
And you can't find vans. They're like rocking horse droppings. And this one happened to come up for sale at exactly the same time as my pension matured.
Oh, well, that's good, isn't it? So there you are. You can drive. Well, you can't drive your pension sat in the bank, can you?
No, you can't. So,
and I dare say you get a bit more interest on it as well, the way classic car prices are going.
Yeah, she's appreciated nicely since I bought her, yeah.
And do you use it often? Do you enjoy taking it out still?
Oh, I love taking it out for a drive, or as I call it, a trundle.
Yeah.
Because 45 is fast enough.
Yeah.
She'll shift along all right.
Very good, very good. And obviously you're still very pleased with her 11 years on.
Oh God, yeah. She's not for sale, never will be.
Fantastic. It's gorgeous to see, and a lovely colour as well. Love that colour. Now then, this is a bit striking, isn't it?
Well, thank you.
So, and if I remember right, let me just double check it. I want to have a quick look on the back here. Yes, it is the one that I saw earlier. Lotus Viva.
Yes,
Tell me about this.
It's a model that never happened, and I thought it should have.
Very good. So what have you done?
Basically fitted the Lotus engine, which is, despite what Lotus like to put out, is entirely based on the slopey VauxALL engine. Mm-hmm. So the bolt patterns are all the same. Mm-hmm. You can bolt it to the same gearbox, you can put it on the same engine mountings, but you do have to modify the sump.
Yep.
Which is all done. It's been like this for about 5 years now. I tuned it up 3 years ago, and it's a Vauxhall Lotus Viva.
That's very cool. I mean, you used to, when you say like a Vauxhall Lotus, you expect the next word to be Carlton, not Viva. Very striking issue. Was it originally yellow, or have you repainted it?
It's originally an X14. Those guys will know what they are. And I've changed it into this. So it was yellow, it came with an auto, still got an auto, but it's been manualised for drag racing.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, quite special inside there, built to actually get out there and put a good time down. What do the other owners think of it?
Well, I'm here.
That's true.
I was invited.
No, that's good. Because I know some owner. What do you think of it? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Oh, big thumbs up. We like that. What about you guys right here? What do you think of this? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Yes, see, you've got a lot of thumbs up for this. So if you want to have a closer look at this, it's over on the Viva stand. What do you think of the Viva stand? Fantastic.
They're fine guys. They're really pulled together.
The 3 different clubs have all. What we've got drivers, owners, and outlaws have all come together to put that stand on.
Well, they started out like that. They ought to finish like that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, fabulous to see that. Wonderful to see. Now then, I'm assuming this one's yours.
It is.
And do I dare say British Racing Green? Of course, it's probably not called British Racing Green, but standing next to it, that'd be a colour way to describe it.
Well, yes, I suppose it is. It's actually Goodwood Green metallic.
Oh, well, that's just as good. I mean, you sat next to a Lotus Viva that's been created. Now we're keeping with that racing sort of pedigree and so forth. Tell me about this.
Well, I saved it from the scrapman back in 1992 and then set about rebuilding it after I stripped it back to a shell. Only took me 17 years to do. 17
years you spent working on this?
I did, on and off, when I could afford to or find the time, and then this is what I've ended up with.
Brilliant. Was it this the original factory colour or colour you've chosen?
It's as close as we could get to the original colour using modern paints.
Brilliant. And you got vinyl top as well that I can see there?
There's a story to the vinyl.
Go on.
Roof. The previous owner, his wife had parked it in a car park in Leicester, and somebody backed into a lamppost and it fell on top of the car. They had it repaired at their local garage, but the bloke couldn't paint it, so he put a vinyl cover on.
See, there you go. There's always history and stories to go beyond, and all that paintwork reveals them.
And since I rebuilt it, I don't mind driving it. I get all over the place. I've even been to Shetland Islands in it.
Have you really?
Yes, it was a bit hard paddling across the sea, but we got there.
No, that's wonderful. I did a photo show here 2 weeks ago with the Viva outside of the museum and sat in it. Oh, it's comfy.
I know, it is. No problem at all. You can sit in that all day.
Oh, that's wonderful. Lovely to see that. Now then, we go from Goodwood Green to a striking red. This is something lovely, this. This is a bit of me. Tell me about this.
It's one owner that's been in the family from new. My uncle bought it new in 1971. My son had it, he got fed up with it, it wasn't cool anymore, so I had it back off him and restored it.
Fantastic. I mean, it does look factory fresh.
Flamenco red.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Isn't this lovely? Isn't it just an absolutely gorgeous colour? I love the slope on the back there, and you're gorgeous. I'm assuming vinyl, or is it leather?
Vinyl.
Vinyl, but still, you know. It's
for the summer.
Engine?
1256, a little 1256 in it.
So a nice little buzzy engine.
Well, it buzzes along, yeah, very slowly, but it buzzes.
That's good, but the main thing is smile on the face.
Oh yes, it makes a lot of people smile.
No, I think it makes a lot of people smile. Well, the Viva stand, what do you think?
Brilliant. It's a good turnout as usual. Like I say, it's a great run to find because of lads. You know, it's a good club to be in. Everybody's friendly. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Gorgeous to see the Viva here with us. Now then, a little bit different this, because we've got our box on the back there. This is a van. Tell us about this.
It's a van. You
It's
got
a
it
van.
right.
I know.
He's very quick, this lad, isn't he?
I know. So tell me more.
We could make a good double act, me and you.
We could, couldn't we?
Yeah,
Should we-
but
we should
I
do-
won't not well. Now, the van, yeah, I've had it 10 years. It has been restored at various places over the years. It was a mate of mine, and unfortunately, he lost the use of his legs with MS. So I was after this 15 years ago, and I've actually got it 10. It's called Bluebell because that's what his wife called it. It's just a lovely bit of fun. I love it, and I like the Viva Club, and I think it's a great turnout today.
Fantastic. Can I ask then, why did you want the van rather than, say, one of the saloons or the coupes?
They wasn't available. It's as easy as that, and I'd seen this, as I say, 15 years ago, and I've got other cars, but I've always been commercial. And the other thing I do, I drive traction engines as well, and we rebuild them. So it's commercial vehicles. I prefer commercial vehicles to cars.
Fair enough. Now, I won't name him, but someone was telling me about when he had one of these. He used to work at the post office and had one of these, and he said he absolutely hated driving it. Yes. He really didn't like it. But you do?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's the same story I heard. This chap said he worked for the post office, and he said, I hated the van, and he said I drove it and tried to brake it, but I couldn't.
Well, that's a good commercial vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah, there's literally two things that make these work. Well, three, apart from the driver, is fuel and electricity, and that's it. No flashlights on the dashboard, you know, and if you see something and it goes wrong, oh, I have to stop. Not with this, you get out and fix it.
Fantastic.
You can't go to Halfords and get the bits. That's the
No, you can't. You can't go to. Well, you used to be able to, but you can't now. But there's still plenty of places you can find.
Yeah, they're getting harder to find. We got one of our men over there. He's good at finding stuff.
It's also worth pointing out and remembering that you come to classic car shows and so forth. You will see the cars and so forth, and you'll see a few vans and commercials and so forth. In their working lives, a lot of the cars would have been owned privately. Yeah, me or you would have owned that car as our own personal car. A lot of the vans and commercials were owned by companies, driven by employees and driven hard. They had a job to do. And when that job was finished or they couldn't do that job anymore, they weren't looked after, they were moved on and got rid of. So to have a survivor like this is awesome.
Well, this is what happened. I mean, originally, my first sort of experience with these, I used to work for a newspaper in London. I don't know if everybody heard of the Evening Standard, and everything had to be done yesterday. It was a hurry, so these were driven hard. In fact, one of the blokes one Christmas, it froze outside his house, and they pushed it onto a roundabout at Mill Hill and left it there after Christmas. Come back after about a week or two when the weather warmed up, it had defrosted itself, never popped the claw plugs out, and I think started it and drove it off. But if we had one, you drive into a garage where they had 20 or 30 of these in there, just sitting there, and you say, well, there's so-and-so wrong with this one. You say, well, which one can I take? And he'd say, oh, anyone. So you'd look along it and see one that's got the most petrol in it, and then you take that. Yeah. And as you say, they will work very hard. So the survivability is a lot more than any of these saloon cars.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Wonderful to see that. Thank you very much for bringing it in there, sir. We're obviously moving back now to our cars. I think this might well be our first, I do believe it's our first Ford. It was the first one Ford, I'm not quite sure. But tell me about this.
Yeah, this is four-door Brabham, one of only 2 survivors. There's only 8 surviving Brabhams actually that we know of. And this is only one of the 2 four-door versions of it.
Fantastic. How long you had it for?
I had it about 4 years.
About 4 years. And what drew you to the Viva? Why did you want Viva?
Yeah, I had a 2-door HB Viva when I was 18. So I always fancied to get one when I retired, yeah.
You didn't fancy a 2-door again?
I thought I'd have something different and have the Brabham, yeah.
Yeah, no, lovely to see this. Does it bring back memories?
It does, yeah. It's totally different to drive than a modern car, yeah.
Just don't try and drive it like when you were 18, though, eh?
No, you won't.
No, wonderful to see that. No, we're going to move a little bit further back. We could come on to our second row. That's how many Vivas we've got here. We've got 2 rows of them. Yours?
It's a Magnum.
A Magnum. Tell me about this.
It's a 2.3 Magnum. Until 1989. It was owned by one owner, and then it's been in long storage for until 2 years ago. It came out of storage, rediscovered, and it's been recommissioned.
Fantastic. Have you done the recommissioning work?
I didn't know. I bought it from a guy called Mike Hodder, who done all the recommissioning, and he's done a really good job.
Why did you choose this?
It's a car I always wanted. My very first car was a Viva Standard here on an L-Reg. It was my father's car. He gave it to me when I passed my test, and I always wanted the Magnum.
And now you've got it.
No, I've got it.
Is it as good as you thought it was going to be?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, a huge smile on your face says it all. Yeah. Are you pleased to be here today? What do you think of the show?
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's a great turnout. Shame we didn't reach the 60 vehicles, but it's a really good turnout.
That's all right. We're going to Photoshop it and make it look like we did. It's absolutely fine. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing quite well.
You're very proudly stood next to yours. Tell me about this.
Well, this one's an SL2300. It was a model that was in production for apparently about 18 months. It was discontinued in favour of the Magnum, that one there. I think they were both on sale at the same time for a little while, but because they're very similar vehicles, this one got killed off.
Can you imagine walking into a Vauxhall showroom back in the day and being able to buy one of these brand new?
Yeah, it would have been fun. Well, the reason why I got into these is my first car was a similar story to that gentleman. My first car was a 1256 Viva back when I was 18. And when one very similar came up on eBay, I bought it because, well, I learned to do a lot of car mechanicking on it with my late father, and he's not about anymore. So it helps keep and maintain memories, and when you display these cars, it does that for other people as well.
Absolutely.
Now, back when I was 18, I could afford to run to insure a 2.3, but when Fred decided to put this one, Fred, the gentleman, the Brabham over in that corner, decided to put this one up for sale. I thought,
yeah,
I can have the fast one.
Yeah.
So I bought Alfie from him, and well, we go from there. I've got a few others in my collection as well now, so I had to build more carriage space.
Yes, that's something we're all starting to struggle with now, isn't it? Just all these cars starting to collect up and so forth. Wonderful that you brought this here with us today. When you're sat driving it, did it bring back memories?
Yeah, brings back memories of my first few cars, which were the 1256s. But the fact that I can overtake other people on the road in this one, it's definitely a bonus.
Absolutely. No racing on the way home. I know what you're all like.
I have left the Golf GTI behind on the right using this before.
I don't want to hear it. It's not being said to me with my PL insurance. Right, so tell me about this.
This is a Viva HC 1800L estate.
How many estates do they build, do you know?
No idea, no.
Because I don't see many of them.
No, they're quite a rare car, to be honest. They weren't the most favourite shape. Everybody seems to like the Frenzas, or the Droop Snoots. So yeah, they were a bit of a load lugger. Did the job, and then they all got scrapped off. So a bit of a rare beast. Now.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful to see these. And of course, like talk about cars being scrapped, and of course, cars were banger raced as well. Can imagine that these would have been popular on the track.
Yeah, I should imagine there was a few smashed up in the day, yeah.
But again, a rare survivor. What year is this?
77, so it's quite a late one.
Yeah, because they went out, what about 79 they went out, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So 77 coming up to quite a late one, as I say, a HC. Original colour?
It is, yeah, all original. It's only got about 76,000 on the clock. Yeah, it's a nice little motor.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. What I wanted to achieve with the show was this timeline of cars, so you could see how the brand had developed. And even here, you can see sort of like how this individual model has developed. Even just say in the colours, you go like from your 60s shades all the way through to your 70s. Yeah. Really cool to see. Right then, let's talk to you. Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Tell me what you bought in here.
This is a 2.3 SL again. I've got two of them. This is the second one. I've had this about a year. I found it as a rolling shell. It had been off the road since 79. Last MOT had about 12,000 miles on it.
Wow, so it'd been off the road for, let's work this out, 79, and you bought it, what, 2 years ago?
About 2 years ago, yeah. And it was a rolling shell. It was slightly seized, but I've got it going. But I've actually got a green one and all. Yeah. And it's a love affair. When I was 18, as an apprentice, I had a 2.3. I wanted the fastest Viva I could get, and it was a 2.3 SL. So I had one when I was 18, and then at 50, you go through a midlife crisis. Because you've paid your mortgage off, I've got a little bit of spare cash. So I bought one 10 years ago, which I've got a green two-door one and all. And then Fred in the corner with a Brabham, he said, for the club, you live in London? Yeah. So I said, yeah. And I said, where is it? He goes, High Wycombe, which is about 30 miles away. And he said, can you have a look at it for the club? Oh, yeah, I'll have a look at it for the club. And I went, I'll buy that. Yeah. Because it was solid. I knew where all the welding didn't need no welding. Wow. Because it had only been on the road 7 years and taken off. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. So you bought it as a rolling shell. What have you had to do to get it back on the road?
Just recommission it really. I've done all the brakes, calipers. I had to unseize the engine, which I got it off. But be honest about it, it's exactly how it was. But I've still got crates and crates of bits to put on it, the chrome, the rubbers. But obviously I'm going to have it resprayed to make it mint.
Is it on its original paint now?
No, so you can see someone spat it on, it's all crazy.
Yes, yeah, but still, original colour.
Yeah, original colour, Monaco white, I think it was, yeah.
Fantastic. Go on.
Yeah, I've got all the original wheels, they all come with it. They're the original seats, but it had all bucket seats in it. I think the guy thought he was a racer. You can see it's got spoilers on it and all that, but, I'm trying to make it original again,
Well, I think it looks fantastic as it is. I know, like, the paint isn't perfect and so forth, but I think it's fantastic.
I think it's great patina, actually.
Yeah, I do.
Patina, use that word.
Yeah, no, I think it is, absolutely. How long have you had it on the road?
About a year now, because I got to get it recommissioned because it had a private plate on it. But to get the private plate off, that's not the original number plate. But but say you have to have it recommissioned, get an MOT on it. Yeah. Flew through the MOT. You know what I mean? I've got the original plate in the back actually, but flew through the MOT. Great car. Honestly, it pulls like a train. I don't know if you've ever drove one. They pull like a train.
I've not actually ever driven one. I was in the museum's example. They brought it out for the photo shoot. So comfy, but never driven one.
Phenomenal talk on it.
Right, well, I'm going to come find you at the end of the show and grab the keys off you. Right then, let's come to you then. Is this one yours?
Yeah, afraid so.
Afraid so. Tell me about this.
Right, this is an original 1968 Mark 1 Viva GT.
So 68, but it's a Mark 1.
You can tell the difference. Mark 1s have got the satin black bonnet and the 4 exhausts out the back. That's the main difference. On a Mark 2, you had the bonnet was painted the same colour as the car, and they had a single exhaust. There's other little differences, but that's the main ones.
How long you had it for?
I bought it in 1976. I'm the second owner.
You bought this in 1976?
Yep, I certainly did.
What is it about this car that's meant you've kept it for that long?
I can't honestly say, because originally I bought it and I was going to scrap it. Originally I wanted it for the engine and gearbox to put in one of those Viva vans.
Yeah.
But a chap says, for the extra bit of money, just take the body and get rid of it. So I got the whole car. I paid 60 quid for the whole car back then, and I thought, So we decided to just take the engine out, overhaul it all, put it all back on the road, and it's been on the road ever since. I must admit, I didn't use it for 21 years. The year I got married, I just locked it in a garage when we bought the house, and I left it there. And 21 years later, my son said to me, "Dad, can we get that old car out the garage, the old blue one?" And I thought, no. Yeah. And we did, and here it is now.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I mean, obviously, there's something right about it for you to keep it that long.
Yeah, it's a nice car to drive, I must admit. It's sort of grown on me over the years, this one. It is good fun.
No, wonderful to see that. Lovely colour as well. And then, of course, finally, you've waited long enough.
Absolutely.
Last but by no means least, is yours. Tell me what we've got.
I'm Mark Burr. So this is a 1975 Vauxhall Viva E-Coupe. It's actually a time machine. So if you cast your mind back to 1975, you don't look like old enough to remember 1975, but
you're very kind.
In 1975, inflation was 35%. People couldn't afford a new car. Everything was difficult, worse than it is now, even. And Vauxhall came up with the E-Coupe. Leftover body panels from the Firenze Droop Snoot. Economy model, cheap as anything, seats from the van, everything else, 1,300 quid, and they flew off the shelves. The trouble is, it's a Firenze body, everyone wants to turn them into Droop Snoots, hardly any of them are left, but this one was I passed my driving test on one of these. So I'm absolutely very keen on the E-Coupe, and this one has been carefully restored to nearly finished, but not quite.
Not quite. What's left?
I've got to do the interior. Needs a carpet. I've got some better seats. The seats are fading. I've got some nicer ones. We'll swap those over. A few electrical things don't work. A few switches and lights. But other than that, it's absolutely as it was made. As it rolled off the factory in 1975.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
It's a lovely car. It doesn't half get the thumbs ups from White Van Man as we're driving up yesterday.
I bet. Right, now I've got a question for you. Okay. Turn your back on yours. I know it's hard to do, but turn your back on yours. Which one are you going to choose from in the arena?
Ooh, I think I'm the one behind you actually. I think a GT.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think the GT is pretty lovely, although I do like the van. I'm very fond of HA vans, so I'd quite like a nice van.
That's a good answer. What you've done is made this person and that person really happy. Everybody else
hates me.
Now hates you. Okay. Everybody else hates you.
Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to keep this one.
That's the right answer. I asked that question at the Land Rover show on Monday, and somehow the man managed to answer and managed to choose every single car in the arena. So I think he must have been in politics.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Well, it's a bad career choice, but there you go.
It is. No, ladies and gentlemen, those of you, I know a few of you are up here. Can I ask you, just a few of you there, just give these guys a little round of applause. It'll probably warm your hands up as well. Fantastic for you guys to all work together and bring down as many Vivas as you can. And what a way to celebrate. Can you believe 60 years of Viva?
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? I've been an owner on and off since 1977, so yeah, not quite since the start, but yeah.
When was the last time you saw this many Vivas together?
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen this many together. No, I think this is a record. Probably 1975.
Really?
Probably.
Because I was talking to someone and they said probably 20 years.
Yeah, maybe. I wasn't an owner 20 years ago, but yeah, there were probably still enough on the road then you might have seen that many as you're driving around, but no, the drop-off has been pretty horrible. I mean, there are over 1 million made and there are probably about 1,000 left, so yeah. Do the maths.
Unfortunately, it's some of these cars, some of the cars did become parts cars. Mike's not working anymore. Some of the cars did become parts cars. People know that I obviously have a bit of a thing for Calibras. Huge parts cars, 42,000 of those built. I think there's maybe 400 on the road now.
Yeah. Well, there's parts of about 10 others in this one, so you pick up what you can find, and there's all kinds of bits in here that came off dead Vivas that gave their lives so others could live.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's wonderful to see. So I'm looking at the time, we're coming up to midday. To our next arena activity, I'm delighted to say we've got Chevettes, Kaddetts, we've got Droop Snoots, and also behind us we've got Mantas as well. So we'll start with this one. Come here, young man. Come here. Tell us what we've brought in here, please.
It's a Vauxhall Chevette saloon. It was originally an auto, but it's now running the 2 litre twin cam with high lift cams, Mark II Escal rear axle, wheel brakes. It's had quite a bit of spend on it. I haven't done all the work myself. I bought it about a few years ago. Just got it running again now, basically.
What year is it?
It's 1982.
1982. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Yeah. You were definitely born after 82.
I was, yeah, 89.
89, so me and you are not far off. What is it about this that drew you to it?
I've always had a passion for old cars. A lot of my friends had like Mark I Mantas and the hatchback Chevettes and stuff, and this came up for sale and I just had to have it. It's a cool bit of kit, isn't it?
It is cool. It is good. Is this a cool car? Do you think this is cool? Yeah, you're getting nods. They agree with you. What's it like to drive?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Lively?
Yeah, it is, yeah, especially in the wet.
Is it LSD at the back?
It's not at the moment, but we're planning to next.
Oh, well, then you'll be in trouble. Then it'll be in trouble, won't you? What's the club like? Because you're part of Chevettes and Kaddetts, right?
It's the first time I met Pete, so first time I met him today, and yeah, it seems great. So I'll probably do a few more meets with him, and hopefully he can come to him again.
Absolutely. Now, your mates, what are they driving and tinkering about with?
My friend's got a Mark III Astra van running the C20XE, which he uses for time attack around Brands Hatch. And then other people got like E30s and E36s and stuff like that.
And what do they think of this?
They haven't actually properly seen it yet because it's been a bit of a pain in the arse and I've had loads of problems with it, but it's actually working now, so hopefully get a few shows this year and get them to see it.
Absolutely. Is this your first show with it this year?
It is, yeah.
What do you think?
It's brilliant, yeah.
It's not bad, is it, show? I'm pretty pleased with it, and I'm really pleased to see something like that. We're going to come on to Droop Snoots in just a minute, but first I'm going to come to you because you're also part of the Chevettes and Kaddetts. I mean, you've got a fantastic spot as well, haven't you? You've got far to go.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome for that one. Tell me what you brought in here.
It's a 1980 Chevette, 2.2 Lotus engine.
Ooh, I bet that's a bit fruity.
It goes.
It goes. I bet he's looking now going, ooh, Lotus engine. I quite like the sound of that.
It's just a quick car.
Right, listen you two. I know you're on the same stand. I know yours is a bit sprightly. I know you've got a Lotus engine. No messing around on them roundabouts on the way out, alright? No. Don't you dare. Tell me about Chevettes and Kaddetts group.
We're a club that we've been going 6 years. We're nationwide. Anyone who's got a Chevette, Kaddett, yeah, join us.
And what is it about the Chevettes, Kaddetts that you like so much?
Friendly club.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it. No one's got any pretensions, we just get on and do it.
That's the best way though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah. It was started 6 years ago by Steve Hill. And it's just a friendly club.
Brilliant. Well, hopefully we'll have even more of you next year. You know, you're going to go back, show them all of this video, show them all the photos. Well, look what you missed. You could have been part of this. Hopefully they'll be here next year.
Hope so, yes.
Fantastic. Now, last question for you. Why this car?
It originally was meant to be for my son. He liked it. It was sitting in the scrapyard for 50 quid. We bought it, things changed and I've ended up finishing the job.
How long you had it?
10 years and it took me 7 to do it.
So 3 years on the road?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Of course.
Fantastic, that's what I like to hear. Right then, let's move on to our Droop Snoots. Right then, can I have who owns this one? Come on, let's have a chat about this. This is a bit of me, this. I quite like it. Talk me through this.
This is a genuine homologation HSR. It's Vauxhall ever built. It's the last Vauxhall built at Luton. It's probably the most iconic Vauxhall out there, really. Everybody knows an HSR. They were the ultimate tarmac rally car. Luckily they had to build 30 for the road. One.
Do you know how many are left?
27.
27. I think they may have one in there.
No, they've got an HS. I know most of the collection. I've been involved with Vauxhall since I was an apprentice at 16, and Andy and Terry, who used to work at the Heritage Collection, actually came down and bought bits off of me for the HS and the Droop Snoot in the Heritage Collection. They used to ring me up about a voice on the HS. So yeah, I know the cars in the Heritage Collection very well. I've had this since 1988. It's a 2.6 stroked to twin cam. They were only fitted to the rally cars in 2.3 form, but you could get a 2.6 stroke kit from Blindstein if you had a lot of money. It's putting out 200 brake horsepower, it's putting out 200 pounds-feet of torque, and it only weighs 900 kilos because half of it's plastic.
Oh, that's. Can you see the silence around? Everyone's like, yes, 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 more of that, please.
Yeah, it'll do 30 to 135 miles an hour in fifth. That's how much grunt it's got. It's like, performance is like crushing a grape with a sledgehammer. It's marvellous fun.
Fantastic, absolutely wonderful. I want to hear this before we leave the arena. I'm going to have a listen to this. Is it quiet?
Yeah, well, when you do track days.
I suppose yes. When you do track days, you do have to have that decibel limit and so forth.
Just to let you know, for the exhaust from the head to the tailpipe, if you want to buy one, it's £2,000.
I'm all right. I haven't got that much money.
£2,000.
Wow.
It's £1,000 for an exhaust manifold and about 800 quid for the exhaust.
But can you put a price on the experience of driving this?
Well, no, that's why I've kept it for 35 years.
Fantastic to see this, absolutely wonderful. Speaking of decibel limits and so forth, you know, like the Apple Watch now has got like decibelometers in there, and what an Apple Watch? You know, well, okay.
She's the technical. I do writing down and on bits of paper.
Right, okay. Well, this little thing that sits here, it measures how loud things go. Yours does the time. Mine measures sound. So, you know, what's the limit on racetracks? 70, 80 decibels?
About 100 usually. So that's about 90.
My daughter kicked off, you probably saw earlier. She kicked off last week, and it reached 118 decibels.
That's why I haven't got any children.
Right then, let's move on to this. Is this one yours? Tell me about this.
So this is a homologation special. I built it myself, so it's to replicate the 1983 Irish Time Championship cars, driven by Terry Cabey. Yeah, it's got a 2.3 stroked red top in it, Quaife gearbox, Manta 400 back axle. It's a handful. Built it all myself. Did it in 4 months over lockdown.
Really?
Yeah, from a bare shell to paint, and then it took me another year to get it road legal.
Fantastic. Right, let's start the process. So, was it a rolling shell when you bought it?
It was a rolling, very rough shell. Yeah. If anybody wants to come over to the stand, I've got some photographs of what the car looked like. Put it on one of those spit roasts. Closed my business for 3 months, sent everybody home, and spent 3 months working solid, getting this done, doing videos on Facebook, people. And yeah, by August it was in paint, and then it went to a few shows, non-running, and then eventually, yeah, we pushed it, yeah. And then last year at the VBOA at Sywell, it was its first running show, and I took it up the strip. But now it's fully road legal, and I've driven it all the way from Nottingham.
Fantastic. I mean, thank you so much for bringing it. We've been talking on Facebook on the run up to the show. Thank you so much. I'm so excited when I saw that this was coming to the show. How are you finding the show? You enjoy it?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Could do with a bit of heat, I think. I think we need to get a Sundance, I think, going.
I've asked Tom from the museum. I said my only request is sun. That's it. But yeah, at least it's not raining, eh?
At least it's not raining. At 7 o'clock this morning, it was Baltic, don't you? It was real Baltic. But the car liked it because it was nice, fresh, clean air. So yeah, it was. It had a few looks on the motorway.
Have you taken it, apart from VBOA Sidewell, have you taken it on track?
We did the Dukeries rally. We supported a fellow member who rallies his Chevette on the Tarmac Championship, so we supported him with this one there. We did the historic festival at Donington last weekend. Obviously this weekend we're here. We've got a couple more shows coming up, which we organise throughout the year. So I think the next big one is VBOA Sidewell. That's where we're going to see probably most of you guys that are out there. So yeah, it's great. That's what cars are all about, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, obviously you're into your racing and so forth. Have you seen what's outside the collection centre?
Yes.
What do you think of them?
They actually asked me to join them.
I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? If they're saying to you, come onto our stand for something you built yourself.
Yeah. I mean, we all sort of know each other anyway in this fraternity of Vauxhalls, which is great. But sometimes it's nice when you pull up at a show and there's loads of Fords there, and they're looking at one lovely silver Chevette and they're thinking, what's that? I haven't seen one of them for years. And you talk to the rally drivers, and I actually spoke to Terry Cavey 2 years ago, and he actually signed the car for me as well. And he said that out of all the cars he's driven, this was quicker than an Audi Quattro on tarmac.
And that's purely down to the fact you've not got anything holding it back. You haven't got the weight, you haven't got the pull of the drivetrain or anything like that. Can we hear it?
Yeah, I can start it up, yeah.
Do you want to hear it, ladies and gents? That's all right, let's have a little blip from this, because it sounded wonderful. Really the reason why I want him to start it up is I'll warm my hands on the exhaust, to be quite honest, because it's absolutely freezing out there. But let's have a little blip from this. Sounding well, isn't it?
Yeah, she's got a little bit of a flat spot, which I've got to sort out, but yeah, it's going alright.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for bringing that down. Right then, let's move on then from... we can have a listen to yours if you want to start her. She's getting jealous now, isn't she? Because this is... What's this? This is the stroke kit, isn't it?
2.6. But it's quiet, isn't it? You don't want all that noise. You want refinement.
No, that sounds absolutely wonderful. You know, I did. You were talking about the exhaust on this, costing £2,000 from headers to tail. I did the Bewley Supercar weekend, right? A couple of years ago. A Lamborghini turned up with the most expensive exhaust I've ever heard of in my life. Do you know how much this man spent on an exhaust?
A lot of money.
Go on, have a guess.
£5,000.
£25,000 on an exhaust. So yeah, you got good value for 2,000. You know, you've got good value. Right then, let's move on to Droops. I'm going to come on to you first, sir. Tell me what brought in here.
Well, this is the one they've never heard of. This is the Droop Snoots Sports hatch. So it followed on in some respects from the Forenza, and it was basically a car that slipped out the back of the factory. It was never officially launched. They only made 197. It was partly done to use up the nose cones and the Avon wheels off the Forenza, but also as Vauxhall styling was starting to decline, and Opel styling was taking over. Wayne Cherry, the American designer who put the Snoot on the Forenza, was showing off what Vauxhall styling could still do and how far you could take a Vauxhall Viva estate. So this is what they ended up with. This is cosmetically exactly how they came out of the factory. So first car ever, I think, to use red carpets, then went into the Peugeot 205 GTIs, the MD Metros and so on. The tartan bowl plaid trim, you know, then went into the early Golf GTI. So quite a trendsetter in its day. This is quite an interesting car. It's not a low mileage, low owner survive. It's done 125,000 miles. Still running its original engine. Went to Blydenstein in the 90s, so it was uprated by Blydenstein, which of course is sort of the holy grail for Vauxhall tuning in the 70s. I used to own it. I was the second owner of this 1981. Been a Vauxhall apprentice, so I bought it as a lad. I owned it for 4 years then, thrashed the living daylights out of it. I refound it a few years ago, purely by coincidence, and bought it back, and still running the same engine. So, you know, 125,000 miles, the bottom end is still original, which shows how strong that old slant 4 engine is. So
when you found it, what kind of condition was it in?
Oh, it was a wreck. Yeah, it was a wreck and it had been heavily modified. It had the wrong interior in it, so I had to resource all the original bits. And the only wreck that I can remember the exact correct specification cosmetically for how these were. So you literally search the country for bits and pieces. Yeah, and it was quite a challenge.
How long did it take you to get it back?
The restoration took about 12 months, and you know, you'd find parts on eBay that were reasonable, so you put them on the car, then you'd see another one on eBay that was slightly better, you'd sell the old one, so you sort of worked your way up through getting better and better quality bits. And I mean, interestingly, some of the Snoot parts are more easier to find than the Viva parts these days, because they've completely disappeared. Snoot parts, people have sort of retained them and stuck them away in garages. So very, very difficult. And then last year, somebody contacted me and said, really nice car you got there. My mum was the first owner, and would you like to know about the car under her ownership? And he had no idea that I had been the second owner, that I bought it from her in '81.
Wow.
So we had a reunion with the old lady.
Wow.
She had 3 little kids back in 1981. 2 of those lads were 50-year-olds, so they came along, and the whole family had a reunion in the car last year, so it was quite nice.
Oh wow, I mean, what a story. This is what I like to find out about cars. You know, we could talk about the history of the car and so on and so forth, but we're talking about the history of this car and hearing the stories that this car's got, and that's what I wanted to try and celebrate with this show and all the shows that I do, is finding out about the history of that particular car, because you could go on Wikipedia and read about that. You would not hear that story without us having a chat.
Just to add a final little bit, originally when these cars were around and they were very difficult to get parts for and serviced, and nobody knew what they were, a certain gentleman had one of these and decided to set up an owners club because nobody else had done it, and that gentleman is standing just over there now. The gentleman in the hat there, he set up the Droop Snoot group.
Well done to you, sir. My hat off to you. Well done indeed. Are you pleased to see this? You must be. Big thumbs up, that's what we like to see. Are you enjoying the show? Mega, that's what I like to see. If people are having a good time, my job is achieved. I don't care if there's 100, 1,000 cars here, providing you're all having a good time, that is my absolute aim. And this, I mean, when I saw it this morning, I was like, that's cool, immediately, that's cool. But hearing the story of it, yeah, mega car. Thank you very much for bringing that in, that's fantastic. Now, you've got the right idea. Staying inside. It's freezing out here. Tell me what you bought in.
This is a Vauxhall Firenze high performance coupe, 204 built.
Fantastic. I bet there's not.
I wouldn't imagine so now. I think probably on the road within the 20s.
Wow, and we've got, I mean, you one in the arena, I'm pretty sure there's another one on the stand, isn't there?
Yeah, we've, there's a couple on the stand. There's a Thruxton Firenze on the stand, and also another one, and there's one in the museum as well.
So why did you want this? Why did you choose this?
Long story short, I wanted a car, obviously, when I was 17-year-old. I wanted a Mini. Dad said, no, you're not having a Mini. He was a mechanic. You'll kill yourself in a Mini. And he bought me an HB Viva. So I was absolutely disgusted. What do I want this for? Granddad's car. Anyway, I quickly got into the Vauxhall and found out that they did this 2.3 Firenze. And I thought, wow, that looks superb. Found out that a gentleman called Bill Blydenstein raced them really successfully. And thought, yeah, that's a car for me. So yeah, ultimately that's what I got.
How long have you had this?
I've had this one from 2007, but I also own a sports hatch, the same as Martin's there, which I've had since 1987, which was actually my daily driver.
Brilliant. So you achieved your goal. You didn't get your Mini, but we got you into these instead. Brilliant. Right then, let's move from our Droop, Snoots, Chevettes, Kaddetts. Let's move on to our Mantas. Come on then, Mantas. We're going to start with our gold one. Who's our owner of it? Come on over. You're going to tell me now that it's not gold. You'll tell me the official colour. Tell us about this.
So, hello. Yes, this is a 1984 Opel Manta Berlinetta. I'm the third owner. It has 34,000 miles on the clock, and it's pretty much original.
Okay, looks immaculate, this thing. It's really well presented. Why did you want this?
It actually belonged to a club member, a gentleman called Ian Verco, who some of the VBOA members might remember. He was the Manta Club rep for the VBOA. He sadly passed away at the start of the COVID period, and as his sort of house was being liquidated, he had 19 cars. Most of them were Mantas, but he had other things, Royals, he had a Bedford CF and all sorts of proper VauxALL Opel enthusiasts. This was one of them. This was one of his pride and joy cars. He even had the original alloys with the original rubber on and everything, which I have now at home. You know, the first set of tyres that were ever fitted to the car. He kept it totally original. It was his museum piece. And I thought to myself, I can't let this go out of the club. I don't want this, you know, disappearing off and not being seen again. So he was fairly local to me, so I bought it, and I've had it for the last couple of years now. And I must admit, I love it.
Were you looking for one, or did you see it and go, no, that's quite special?
No, I have 3 already, so I didn't really need another one. So this is number 4 in the collection as far as Mantas are concerned. Yeah, that was an impulse buy. It came up for sale and thought, yeah, I've got to have that.
So what is it about Mantas?
I grew up on Chevettes and Cavaliers and things like that, and the Manta just appealed to me just from the shape and the styling and whatnot. I started off on a hatchback when I was a lad, and hatchback was great for going away and camping and you know, just general use. Haven't had one for 25 years, so another reason why this one came up as a hatch. Hatch is kind of a bit less desirable, I think, than the coupes. Certainly a little bit cheaper in the market, but you know, eminently practical car. Get a tent in the boot and everything for camping. So yeah, it's good motor for that.
Well, hopefully, I'm hoping that next year we'll be able to do camping here.
Fantastic.
And I'm hoping it'll be a bit warmer as well, because it's mighty cold out there. Right then, let's move on. Who is our owner of this gorgeous 400? Is that you? Come on over.
Well done, young man.
Now this, I like cars like this. Tell us here.
It's a Manta 400, bought in 1982 by myself and imported into this country in 1991.
Brilliant. So why did you go for this?
I like the poster. went into a dealership, decided to buy a new car, I like this one, and it took 7 months to arrive.
Was it worth the wait?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got to be, because you've still got it, right?
Still got it.
And tell me more about the Manta 400.
Cosworth designed engine. They produced this model to rally, and this is one of the street cars. And what else is there to say?
Well, absolutely. I love the interior. I love the stitch work on there. I'm assuming that's all original.
That is all original.
If only they did cars like this now. You know, if only they did cars like this, absolutely wonderful to see that. Who is our owner of this one? Where have you gone? Is this one yours?
Well, I've driven it in. I've restored it. So our friend here is going to talk.
I've driven it in. My husband's done it. He don't want to talk to you. Right. Before I come to you, you've driven it in. Have you driven it anywhere else?
Yes. Yes.
What's it like to drive?
Yeah, it's nice to drive. We've had a few Mantas. My husband restores them and does all of the technical stuff. I just drive them. We've got the silver B over there as well. I do prefer this one to the B because I like something a bit quicker, which he thinks I need to be a bit slower, which is why I'm not allowed to drive this far and I have to stick to the B, which is automatic. But I was allowed to drive this round in a controlled area where I might be a bit sensible.
What you can do, because he stood over there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the exit's there. Yeah, there we go. We're seeing it. Seeing it now.
Gathering as well, so it's been here to that show. So I've driven up that little bit of a road before.
That's why you're not allowed to drive it back up that road now.
I actually live quite close, and I'm allowed to drive it here because we're not far away. I'm not allowed to drive it to the shows that are further, because then I might get a bit of speed up.
Might get a bit excited. So tell us what we've got here.
Right, so this is an Opel Manta i200 dealer conversion. It was an Ermshire import into the UK, the little brother of the Manta 400 that's next to it. So this again is a Group B road-going homologation special. 30 of them imported in right-hand drive into the UK. Because only 30 of them were available, and they pretty much sold out as soon as they were, orders were being taken. Steve Thompson Cars in Vauxhall offered a conversion kit to update your Manta GTE to i200 spec, and that's what this is. This is a dealer conversion to i200 spec, so not original factory, but pretty much exactly the same.
Well, to get one of those factory cars, 30 of them, how many of those are going to be still knocking around now?
There's 27, believe it or not.
Really? So we managed to keep hold of...
The reason I'm talking about this, because I actually have one of those 27. I have one of the original ones at home, so and Mick and I have known each other for 30 odd years, Mick. So yeah, this is this car that I must admit I love. It's my favourite Manta out of all of them. The Rothman stripes, obviously Rothmans were sponsoring Opel team rallying at the time, so perhaps not very PC nowadays to have fag packet stripes on your car, but I must admit I think it sets the car off really nicely.
No, I think it does. I mean, I know it's sat at the back, but people are able to see it as it goes round, and all of you around there. Don't you think it looks great? It looks absolutely superb. That gorgeous white, the Rothman stripes, that little i200 down the side. I think it still looks. I mean, if you were to do paintwork on car today and do design, that would still look fresh today.
It works really well, doesn't it? It suits the lines really nicely. They certainly did the job. The interior for this one as well is exactly the same as the Manta 400. It's got those really, really rare Opel Blitz Recaro seats. That's £1,000 a set for those seats straight away if you want those. So they're another sought after part for this car.
That is so cool. So I think that's the thing though with a lot of Vauxhalls is they did have quite cool bits on them, and then when the values went down, you could buy them, rip all the cool bits out and still wheel it into scrapyard and get your money back.
Yeah, exactly. And we do see these interiors crop up from time to time, and it's almost like name your price now when you find a real one. Mick was lucky enough to find one actually for this car, because that was the one thing the dealer conversions didn't come with. You couldn't order these seats, they only came brand new from the factory. But Mick was really lucky and found a set second hand, and obviously that just completes the package. It's very difficult to tell this from a factory original one now.
It looks fantastic. Those of you around, when you see this go back over to the stand, which is just beyond the VBOA stand over there, please do have a look inside the interior, because that's awesome.
Yeah, super, isn't it? The yellow piping with the Opel Blitz on the seats. If those of you who haven't seen Opel Blitz Recaros, come and have a look at either one of these two cars, because there's something a bit special about them.
No, that's mega. That is mega. You can tell your husband that you have my permission to drive it home.
Yes.
You can take the long way home. Okay, if you happen to end up on the M40 going down to Banbury, going past Pro Drive and then back up the Southern Road, that's fine.
That route, definitely.
Southern Road is a lot of fun. Right then, let's move on to our last car here. Who is our owner of this one here? He's run away from me now. Where have you got? Oh, look, there he is. Come on. Come talk to me about yours, because then we can all go inside and warm up and have something to eat. Tell us what we've got here.
It's 1979 Caroline Mach 1 coupe.
It's a beautiful looking thing, this. Come join me over here. Obviously we've got these two sat here, which look very, very sporty, and then you've got this, even though the lines are the same and it looks very similar and so forth, doesn't this just look so much more elegant?
It does, yeah.
Tell me more about it.
I bought it back in 2020 as a restoration. COVID was kicking in, and I brought it blindly and restored it. Took 12 months to do it.
Were you looking for one?
I was looking for my dad's original car, because he had exactly the same one back in the 80s when I was about 9-year-old, and I wanted one exactly the same. Passed my test in 95, couldn't find one, and went on Facebook, find my old car, and some guy come to me and said, I've got a Cavalier for sale if you want it. So I bought it.
And have you restored it to the colour and the spec?
Original colour, different interior, because the interior was beige and it was bad, so it's gone black. Changed the wheels, well, centre wheels the same, but the banded wheeled, and then a full restoration, which I did on myself.
Fantastic. Well, hats off to you, sir. I think that's absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you around the arena, cool to put your hands together for our Chevettes, Kaddetts, Droop, Snoots and our Mantas. Right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the arena. As you can see, we've moved on a few decades. We've gone from our old stuff that we had this morning, and we've got, well, it is brand new. This is the Astra GSe, and we've got Ollie. Ollie, come over and join me. Come over and join me, sir. So you're looking after this today, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And this is the all-new Astra GSe.
Yeah, that's right.
What I like about it straight away is the fact it plays on the old GSI, except for I mean GSI, it's GSE. What does GSE stand for?
Yeah, so GSE stands for Grand Sport Electric, and it's what we're trying to bring to the market as new performance but electrified sub-brand for Vauxhall.
Okay, so not quite VXR then?
Not quite VXR, but you know, times are changing and we're trying to change with them while bringing a bit of performance and petrol head fun back to it.
There is a tendency as soon as people start talking about electric, because the performance you can get from electric is phenomenal, that instant torque and that pull-away power, to go down the performance route and not always the environmental route, even though it's still, you know, environmentally friendly as much as it can be.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is kind of building on exactly what Vauxhall is trying to do on the journey at the moment. You know, we're going to be fully electrified by 2028 across the range, and this is now our way to sort of step away from the eco cars that we produce, like the Mocha and the Corsa, and bring a bit of what Vauxhall's best for back into the electric range.
I mean, it's a striking looking thing. The marketing for the latest Astra, it's a very striking looking car, very bold looking car with its flares and the lines on it and so forth. It's certainly got presence to it. What do you think of it?
I think it's stunning, to be honest. The visor front grille, as well as the kind of bold styling we've gone for, the two-tone roof, the Opel Manta Concept E wheels on it as well. You know, in a world full of Golfs and 1 Series, why not have something a bit different? That's really, really striking on the road.
It's not the first time Vauxhall have done this with the Astra. I remember a few years ago when they brought out the 3-door Astra Sportage, and they brought out a concept that was, I will never look like that, and then it actually hit the road and it pretty much did look like it. So it's good that they're getting a bit more confident with them. Let's talk about the car then. Let's go bumper to bumper. What have we got at the front?
So it's a 225 PS 1.6 turbo plug-in hybrid engine, so 225 horsepower, 360 newton meters of torque, 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds.
That's not bad at all. And it's GSE, we've got an electrified element to it as well, have we?
Yeah, so plug-in hybrid, so it'll do 40 miles on pure electric power only, and it has a combined MPG of up to 259 miles per gallon, so you've kind of got the best of both worlds, where you've got the speed and the power, but you know, stick it in eco mode and it'll be a great highway cruiser.
Great. So the electric motor on this, is it front, back, is it part of the gearbox, part of the where have you plumbed in the electric motor into the system?
Yeah, so it's fully front wheel drive. The electric motor does work with the gearbox and puts all the power through the front wheels, but on our Grandland GSe, which has 300 horsepower and 520 newton meters of torque, that power is sent to the rear, so it's all-wheel drive.
Fantastic. Inside, what's going on in there?
Yes, so we've got 2 10-inch displays forming our pure panel, which, as you can see just through there, you know, it's a lovely driving experience. You know, previously that tech was only sort of seen on more premium hatches and on more premium brands. So Vauxhall's all about trying to bring that accessible technology to the market for more people to use. We've got lovely GSE Alcantara bucket seats, which really hold you in, but the fabric quality is really superb. And other than that, it's pretty much the same as most of the other Astras across the range, but you know, featuring the Alcantara makes it a really premium place to be.
Then you get a GSE Tourer.
Yes, so it does come in the Sports Tourer version, which are a little bit hard to get your hands on at the moment, but they'll be coming soon.
Now, my question to you is, obviously, Vauxhall, as you can see, we've got 500 cars here, all of them are Vauxhall nerds, and we absolutely love it, don't we? We like our Vauxhalls here. Obviously there's going to be Vauxhall next year, and the year after, and the year after. How many cars do I have to get here to get a Vauxhall Tourer GSe as the official Vauxhall car?
Oh, you might have to bring a few more hundred. No, but I mean, it's great to be here amongst 500 exhibitor cars. Vauxhall's 120 years old this year. Since we produced our first car, and it's all about kind of celebrating that. And I mean, what better place to do it than here?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys think of the new GSe? What do we think? Do we like it? Don't like it? Where are we at? We're getting thumbs up over there. That's good. I mean, these are a tough crowd. We've got people who love their 80s, their 90s, the newer stuff over there, the modified stuff and so forth. So you come into a market that knows the brand well, and this is quite a different approach to it in terms of its style and its looks, and you're getting thumbs up, which is great.
Yeah, I think people have been coming over and it's been sort of mixed approach at first, but after talking to them and seeing the car, seeing the inside, telling them about it, I think we've won over a few people here. But performance doesn't have to mean petrol only, and electric doesn't mean boring. So we're bridging that gap, and I think we're doing it pretty well with this.
Absolutely, I think it's a really cool car, really cool looking car. Now then, have you been around the show?
Yes, very briefly, but I have been with the car pretty much all day.
Okay, so in your brief walk around of all of the cars here, what's taken your eye?
Definitely, I think the Lotus Carlton. That's a pretty special car to see on show here. There is also a very, very cool Astra GSe VXR over there in a lovely sort of green colour. I've never seen one in that colour before, but I thought that was really striking.
A rare colour. I don't think they did many in that colour, because most people VXR you think ardent blue and so forth. How many? 30. There you are. How many did you order? One. Right, for you, sir. Was it a limited edition, or was it just an unpopular colour? There we are. See, and how old's yours? What? 5 years old? 8 years old, and you're already down too. See, Vauxhalls, we build great cars, and then everyone goes, well, yeah, that's a great car, I'm going to buy it and strip it for all of its nice bits and put it on other bits. It nods in, yes, exactly. I'm already looking at these wheels thinking they'd look quite nice on my Calibra Turbo. But I would never do that. I would come and steal it from your parts department instead. No, wonderful for seeing this. Now, no word of a lie. We've announced different things, what's going on with the show and so forth. Genuinely, this all got organised. You come in here. What was it? Thursday last week.
It was a bit last minute, but we got word of the show popping up, and it's a perfect chance for us to come down with our new unique Halo product, and try and get Vauxhall involved with a show like this. We're in no way sort of incorporated with you. We didn't organise this, but it's great to be a part of. And as I say again, we're celebrating our 120th year, and we're passionate about that. We sometimes maybe don't look back on what we came from enough, but this is such a great chance to do so. So expect to see probably a lot of content from this.
Awesome, absolutely mega. Right then, ladies and gents, can I ask you to give Ollie a round of applause, because I've really put him on the spot here. You didn't know you were doing this today, did you? No. And fabulous to see this. Now, this is down in our little trader village down there. You can see the 2 red Vauxhall flags. Am I right in saying people can get up and close and have a look inside, have a sit in it?
Absolutely, yeah, just come down, and yeah, we're nice and friendly, we don't bite. So yeah, we'll happily let you take a seat in the car, have a look round, and yeah.
Brilliant. All I ask you, ladies and gents, is please don't scratch it, because apparently this is my car that I'm taking home with me. That's right, isn't it, Ollie? Yeah. It's, you saw the nod, okay? That's now legally binding. No, Ollie, thank you so much for coming down. A pleasure meeting you, and a real pleasure seeing this. I was not expecting to see this here, and I think with having this here, it means that I think the oldest car we had here was 1958. I think, and this is 2023, so what's that, 55, 65 years of Vauxhall?
Probably about that. I'm not going to question your maths, but
I can't do maths on the spot, but in essence, we've covered more than half of Vauxhall's life at Vauxhall, the first show, which I am super stoked about. Right then, coming up for you next, ladies and gents, we have got some of the guys from 80s, 90s Vaux. We've got 80s, 90s Vaux here. Now, I'll be honest, this is a bit of me. This is the sort of decades that I remember. So we're going to start with this. I saw this come in this morning. I thought, that's cool. I do love an estate, and it's lowered down. What a cool car. Tell me about this.
Quite cool. Well, it's a 1984 obviously Mark II Cavalier. Really good example, to be honest. Low mileage, really looked after its whole life. And pulled it out of the garage, great recently.
So it's been looked after its whole life, and then you bought it, and I'm assuming you didn't buy it looking like this. Or did you?
Pretty much, yeah.
So somebody else has done all the work and you're just enjoying it?
We got pulled out of the garage, it looked pretty much like this. The bonnet was rusty, obviously rubber components, all that needed recommissioning, but that's how it's been pretty much clean.
Nice. And you got your kids in the back there, yeah?
Yeah.
What do they think of it?
They love it. Called them Stanley.
Right, he's giving us thumbs up. What do you think of this car?
It's amazing.
There you go, that's all that needs to be said. Why did you go for this then? Did you sit and go, that's cool, I'll buy that, or were you looking for one?
I was looking for a car because I had a modern car and I got sick of it depreciating all the time, and I thought, what can I get that I can use every single day?
So is this your daily?
I've got a van for work, but everything else I use this.
Good lad, and that's the best way to keep classic cars on the road. Use them on the road. Now then, is this one yours? Is this one yours, is it? So you haven't lowered yours yet?
Yes. Yeah, it's gonna probably get about 40 mil on it. But again, I've done nothing to it. Bought it about 6 months ago. Again, low mileage, daily running, and it's perfect. Best out of all the cars I've ever owned, best for a daily.
Yeah? What's that?
It's most comfortable, low maintenance, as long as you don't brag it around. Other than that, yeah, it's perfect.
So you were looking for a daily. Did you see this and think that's a good price, or were you looking for one of these?
Price-wise, yeah, probably shot myself in the foot, but it's one car I've always wanted that I thought I'd never have. As soon as it came up, I just couldn't say no.
Why? Why did you want it?
Weird, basically.
Yeah, answer. It's a good idea.
No, it's good estate, so it's practical, and I just absolutely love them.
80s, 90s Vaux, how long have you been part of the club?
Been probably part of the club since I got the car, so probably about 7 months, yeah. I've known some of the lads for a bit, like gone to shows and all that with them, but yeah, I got more involved with it when I got a Vauxhall again.
What's the club like?
Brilliant. Yeah, everyone's super friendly, look after each other, just good bunch of group lads.
Fantastic, and you've got good seats as well. Apart from him, who are we talking about here? Is this one yours, is it? The freight set, right, come join us. This is very much the luxury, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's very comfortable, cruises beautifully, it's a lovely car.
What engines are there? Is it the V6?
Straight 6.
Straight 6, sorry.
3 litre. Yeah, 3 straight 6. It's powerful. I mean, the police used to use these a lot as motorway patrol cars, and they loved them. Because they could run them 24/7, they didn't break down, and they would say a high performance, comfortable car.
It still looks so plush in there. I mean, that interior looks immaculate. Is this a mega low mileage example?
It's done about 140,000, but it's been refurbished.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like it's 140,000 in there at all.
I bought it about 4.5 years ago, and the guy before me had it 17 years as his daily runner. You know, it's had the bottom half refurbished, metal welded in, new headlining, but I've had quite a few performance cars in the past which the wife hated, so it's so uncomfortable. This she loves, so I think it's a keeper.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because you've got the best of both worlds here, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if the wife goes, maybe something different, but while she stays, the car stays. So...
Right, on that note, is your lady wife here today?
Yes, so I'm going to stick here when I get out of here.
Yeah, I can see. She's walking down there now and she looks mighty cross with you. Right then, is this yours? It's your partner? Okay, so tell me more about this.
Well, we've had this for just coming up to 12 months now, and as you find, Mark 3 Astras are needed. Loads of different panels doing on it. an unmolested Astra GSe is a rare thing to find, but we found it all right.
Well, I was going to say, when these came out sort of in the 90s and so forth, hot hatches, you know, there was a lot of thefts, you know, there was a lot of ragging around, and then it gone into late 90s, 2000s, you went through the Max Power area, all the car cruisers and so forth, and they were good cars to rip around in.
Exactly. I mean, that's why we love them, isn't it? But yeah, big partner. When we bought this for her last year, she went from a 61 plate Mini to a VXR Astra GSe and a P-Reg, so she loves it. It's a big change for her, but it was her first sort of retro classic car, and fits in really for the chairwoman of our club, so she loves it. It was had a full respray, arches done, a good few 100-mile welds put into it, it felt like. Yeah, other than that, I can't really tell you much more about it.
Oh, it's fabulous to see that. I love the styling of the Mark III Astra. My mum had a Mark III Astra, and I can still remember, like, sitting there, it felt like an absolute tank, that thing.
That's it, just a great thing to have, isn't it?
Yeah, they're fabulous, fabulous. I'm sure there's a few people who like their Mark III Astras as well around. We've got another one that's sat here. Whose is this? Is this you?
Yeah, this one's mine.
Right, what engine's in this?
It's the red top C20XE.
Have you done anything to it? Any mods on there?
Engine wise, it's untouched other than a bit of cosmetic tidying up, things like that. I've put the wheels on it, 5-stud conversion, and other than that, that's it as it can.
I'm going to say these wheels are either Cav or Calibra turbo wheels, the fan blade wheels. They suit the Mark III quite well, don't they?
Yeah, that's the main reason I put them on, because, like you say, they just suit it so well.
And how long have you had it for?
Bought it in 2020, so 3 years. Like Dan said, it's so hard to find a unmolested one. When this came up and didn't have rusty arches and things like that, I snapped it up. So.
Were you looking for one then?
Yeah. I had Mark III Astra as my first car, and one for merit, but obviously I'd have never ever insured one of these or afforded one at the time. So when I could finally insure one, I was on the lookout for one.
Fantastic. And was it worth the wait?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Just nice, it's lovely. Love it.
Yeah. It makes a good noise. It's got the right engine in it. No offence to Ecotech, but yeah, we do love red tops. Everyone loves red tops because plenty of them have been in other cars. These Cavaliers, Calibras, and so forth. People have bought them, read the engines, and away they go. They are a phenomenal engine.
They are a good engine, yeah. Hard to find as well nowadays. Like you say, they've been in everything, escorts and rally cars and all sorts. So. Yes, yeah, it's one of the very last of the Phase 1 GSIs with the red top in, with it being on an M, and then there was a short gap before they went to the Phase 2 with the Ecotech.
Fantastic to see this, and lovely to see it. What do you think of the club, by the way, 80s, 90s Vaux? Good club?
Oh, yeah, brilliant, yeah. Really friendly and dead easy to get on with, yeah.
That's what we like to hear. We don't like club politics. There can be club politics, and then there's great clubs that just get on with things and everyone gets on well. Now then, coming on to this, where to start?
Well, it's a 1988 Mark 1, but I've marked to the front end because I don't like Mark 1s. And everything's fiberglass, turbo engine, 436 brake, roll cage, meth, custom dash, custom most things.
Have you been that meth? Yeah. Have you been on that?
Why'd you ask?
Don't know. Do you take this on track? Have you built it for track, or have you built it to be fast road car?
It's more of a drag car, really. I haven't took it on in this iteration. It's blown up 3 times now. This is the 3rd time. But rather than just replace, I tend to upgrade, because why not?
I mean, Novas are not heavy cars to begin with, and you've made it even lighter, and then you've put a stonking great engine in there. There's plenty of people that put red tops, they put turbo red tops in there and so forth, and then you've stripped it out, roll cage and all the rest of it and so forth. What are your times on the strip?
I haven't run this car in this one, but I'm hoping for low 11, well, medium 11s, low 12s.
When are you going to find out?
Ultimate street car.
How far away? How long until we find out? How far away is that?
August.
August, right, okay, well we'll be looking forward to that, and hopefully you're going to bring it back here next year and you can tell me what you're at. That's absolutely mega. I want to hear it. Can I hear it? Go on, let's hear it. Do you want to hear this run? Let's have a listen to this. I mean, what a mega piece of kit this is. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Did you enjoy that, ladies and gents? That was nice, wasn't it, hearing that? Fantastic to see. Right then, we move on from, you know, as pretty far as you can go with a car to I dare say stock.
On the outside, mostly, we've got a SRI rear spoiler. My Momo Arrow 17-inch wheels aren't on it at the moment, they need a refurb. Inside, completely different from standard.
Yeah. What have we done?
It's got a full interior of a Cavalier Cesaro. On the outside and the inside, they were quite sporty, but they were usually just a standard 1.8 or more aggressive V6.
And what engine have you got in this one?
Oh, I've got a little tiny 1.6 car.
And have you got plans for something like that or no?
I've had a red top on the side for about 4 years now.
Excellent. Well, you've got a little bit over a year before the next VauxALL. That is your line in the sand. Yeah, I want to see this here next year with the red top in it.
Oh, you might not. You might see my Cav SRI with the Ecotec in it next year though.
That'll do, I'll take that as well. And then of course, I'm sure at some point in our life, anyone who's had a VauxALL has either driven or been in one of these. Tell me about this.
I picked this up last year, and the thing that appealed is it's a very early one. They came out in April 1993, and this is one of the first runs. Always have VauxALLs in the family. Only have a little bit of space, so needed something compact in this VauxALL. And here it is, Corsa B.
Fantastic. What engine?
So we're not packing too many horses here. We're looking at 45.
45 whole horsepower. Put it to you this way, if that man there in his Nova has a bad day, that's probably how much horsepower he loses out of his car. What is it? Is it a 3-cylinder in this?
No, it's the 1.28 valve.
1.28, so it's not the quickest.
It's not the quickest. We can get to 60 miles an hour in 18 seconds.
18 whole seconds. Oi, Nova, watch it. Yeah, coming for you. No, it's fabulous to see these, and so many of these were modified through the Max Power era. They were great first cars, and of course as we progressed up and we earned a bit more money and we started doing little bits and pieces, eventually we could end up with something that looked a little bit like and probably went as good or nearly as good as that Nova that took a few cars down. But they did start like this, and finding them like this now, very hard.
Exactly, and that's what appeals. I've had to restore some original features, wheel trims, gear knob, boot badge, and so on. But yeah, I'm keeping this stock. You're right. They had definitely their time in the 90s, early 2000s being modded, but this will live as a stock.
I love the fact inside here he's still got the original cassette deck in there. Is that the right stereo as well that's in there?
The correct one plays in mono, which is a bit naff, so that's actually a phase 2 stereo if you want to get a bit nerdy. But it's still a tape deck.
That's alright, I'll let you off. I'll let you off with your mono and your stereo. I like the fact you've got a CD on the dashboard. I'm not sure how you're going to use that. Very quickly, 80s, 90s Vox. You had a meet a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
How did it go?
It was superb. That was the first time that I joined up with these guys. What a fabulous job they put on there. Yeah. Awesome, really friendly bunch, top show.
Fantastic. So well done to you guys, 80s, 90s Vox. What are you thinking of VauxALL?
Oh wow, this is huge. Yeah, it's a massive family. So much here, isn't there? All generations. Love it. Well done. Thank you.
Well, that's the least I can do. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But this is what I wanted to try and achieve with the show. Not only having sort of like the rare stock stuff that you just don't see anymore to the the fully modded stuff with the Novas and so forth, to actually seeing the progress of the brand go like from as early as I could get with the Vivas all the way through to the very latest stuff, and having VauxALL join us. That's exactly what I wanted to achieve with this. So I'm hoping you're all enjoying the day here at VauxALL. Now, what I'm going to do with, hopefully you guys don't mind, but I'm going to use your cars as the backdrop for the outro for the official VauxALL video. So it's going to take me about 2 minutes to film this, and then we're going to invite you out, because coming up next is, well, I bet the engine, let me guess, right, you got a C20 let in there, yeah? What was it in originally?
It might have been a Calibra.
There you go, it was in a Calibra, and they're coming in next, and we're going to talk about those because it's a club that I'm involved in, but also it was a parts car. There's not many left, so I feel it's only right that we do talk about them as we progress through the years here at VauxALL. And ladies and gentlemen, Club Calibra, here we go. As you know, I do love a Calibra, and this one, starting off straight away, I mean, I'm glad I've got these on. Crikey, is it bright. An SE2.
An SE2, yeah.
Tell me about Bry.
Well, Brian, he was on eBay as a bit of an unloved car, really. A guy bought him, was going to rip the engine out for a motorsport project, the red top. When he saw the bodywork was half decent, he decided he couldn't go through with it, really. So he sold it to me, and I've looked after it ever since, really.
Fantastic. Now, everyone laughs at red Vauxhalls because I always turn pink, but yellows also have a tendency to go a bit faded.
Well, I've gone over it again. It's had a bit of work, as they say.
I was going to say, she's looking glorious now, or he's looking glorious now. Last time I saw this was at the NEC back in November, where we had the turbo and also Richard's turbo there as well.
That's right, that's correct, yeah.
How long have you had it for?
7 years now.
Why did you get it?
Well, it's all my wife's fault, really. It's not often your wife gets you to buy cars, but yeah, she's got a V6, so I thought I'd better get one to keep her company.
Very good. Did you like the V6 when you were in it, or were you like,
it's a good car,
But red top is good fun, isn't it? Right then, who owns this one? Come on then, come on, don't be shy. There's no one here and no one can hit you. Tell me about this.
Right, this was my dad's, so Brian Beastie. My dad had a stroke. He had her for 16 years and then handed her down to me, and I've transformed her.
Fantastic. And what's it like to drive?
Best car I've ever had.
Yeah?
Yeah. Wouldn't change it for anything.
And you daily drive this, right?
Yeah. Every day.
You also daily drive a white.
He's got the other.
Yeah, you've got the other one.
They both used to be the same. A lad hit this one Sunday morning on drink and drugs. He wrote the front end off. We've replaced front wings, wishbones, drive shafts, engine mounts, because they wanted to write it off, give us 400 quid. We managed to bump them up to 1800, bought all the parts and did all the work.
Well, it was worth doing because it was your dad's car, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We wouldn't let play off.
No, absolutely. When you're driving it, does it bring you back a car? I'm assuming you went in it with your dad.
No, I didn't.
No, you never went in it with you. But so you can sit there.
Never been sat in.
Wow, how about that then? I'm tempted to jump in there now. No, it's wonderful to see this here, and I can see on a P that means you're running Ecotec in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good engines. C4L, which is behind you over there. Everyone slates the Ecotec engine. It's rubbish compared to the red top. It is, but mine has never, ever, ever let me down. And I can tell you, if you've been following the VauxALL Facebook page, back in January, or it might be a bit later actually, maybe February, my daily driver hit a pothole, smashed an alloy, did 2 tyres off the road. And that was when my dad was taken into hospital, and I needed to get up there. My dad lived just up the road from here, up in Wolverhampton. I lived down in Banbury, and I needed to get there to go and see him. And C4L was the car that I hadn't driven for 6 months. It was the car that I got in, and I turned the key and that car started, and I was there in an hour. That car has been with me for 13 odd years, and it's the one that I will never let go because I can always trust it. Say what you want about Ecotec, that car's a good car. Now then, I'm going to come on to you, sir. Come on, Ross. Because there's a few links going on here. The wheels on this one used to belong to the man who restored mine.
Yes.
If that all makes sense. Tell us us about this.
Well, this car belonged to Steve to start with, and when I first saw it, it was on the trailer at the time. I says, I'll put my name on the V5. I badgered him to get the car. I got it eventually, and now this is the end result. There's just a roof spoiler to go on. It's a 97 2.5 V6, and it's a mint car.
Original colour?
No.
What colour is it?
It's actually very, very red. It used to be North Cape blue.
Fantastic. It's a very unusual colour to see on a Calibra, but I think it wears it very well. I don't know why they didn't choose to do it for the actual car.
I have no idea this is how it came. It was the previous owner to Steve had painted this.
Right, well, I'm not. In fact, we'll go into our little story about the turbo a little bit later on, but first I want to come on to this one. John, yours. And this one's interesting because I want you to have a look at reg there, H reg. So what year is this? 89.
September 90.
September 90. So Calibra came in, for those of you who don't know much about Calibra, is this an 8-valve as well? Brilliant. So, if you have a look at the front ends of the car, so you can see a few very minute differences. This V-grille here obviously isn't there, and you've got the emblem there on the bonnet. But if you have a look at this one when it's back parked up and have a look there, you'll see that grille is actually blanked off, and that's what gave this car its record-beating aerodynamics. All of the others needed more cooling going into the engines, and as soon as I opened up that grille, it actually brought the drag coefficient down to roughly the same of a Cavalier, which is what the Calibra is based on. But with that closed off and the air flowing across this bodywork, it had got that record low drag coefficient, which it held for 10 odd years when the Audi A2 and the Honda Insight took it from there. It gives you an idea of how slippery these cars are. This is a very, very early one. Hard to find the early ones for a few reasons. The engines were the bodies weren't galvanised, so they rotted, and also they were cheap, so people bought them for parts.
Yeah, this is actually the oldest 8-valve manual gearbox known to exist. She was registered in September 90. She's unrestored, she's original, and I know the 2 previous owners who owned her, and she's been looked after through her time. She was debarted from new. The only additional extras are the headlight covers and alloy wheels.
And these were dealer fits, right?
Yep, you can get them as extras.
No, wonderful to see this, and great to see a very early one, and then of course we've got some later ones here with us as well. Come on down, sir, come on. Yours is looking very smart indeed. Tell us what we've done to this.
It's got the 3-litre V6.
Now they never put a 3-litre in this, they only ever did a 2.5, so you've dropped a 3-litre in there.
6-speed box from the Calibra Turbo. It's got quaife diff. It's got the Hampshire skirt kit and lowering springs on it as well. I've upgraded the brakes. It's got a funky dashboard as well.
Has it got the Digi-Dash in there as well? Oh, he's got all of the options that you could possibly want. So there's lots of different engines in the Calibras. You've got the 8 valves, the 16 valves, the V6 and the turbo. The V6, very, very torquey engine, incredibly torquey, a real cruiser. And with dropping it into 6th gear, which they never did from the factory, never did a 6-speed V6, can use all of that torque.
Yep, 3,000 RPM is about 80 mile an hour.
I won't ask how you know that, of course that was done on a... So, now then, I welcome you all to the worst dressed man in England. Come on, come tell me. Tell me about this. What do you know about this?
I know this car's not mine. I did find it over there, and I believe they belong to you.
So now I've got the awkward situation where I have to interview myself about my car. So then, right, what engine is this? You've waited all year to ask me. So this man, right, we put a post on about this car on Facebook, and I said, oh, we'll just clean the Calibra turbo and so forth. And somebody put on there, what engine's in that? And forever, he constantly comments, going, what engine's in that, please? What engine's in that? So yeah, this is my Calibra turbo, which I wasn't expecting to see in here. To give you an idea of Calibras and why I like Calibras, about 15 years ago, I did a cheap car rally, and this gives you an idea of how cheap these cars were. A cheap car rally where I had 15 countries in 5 days, and we did it in a Calibra, a very early one. It was a Heritage actually, a Heritage. The entire car cost 50 quid. Okay, it was 50. It gives you an idea of how bad the back end on it was. In fact, the lad who bought it then ran it for 12 months. The interior caught fire twice, and he still ran it. And then eventually it got scrapped because the back end fell off. It didn't degrade, it fell off completely. So the wheels off that car are actually on mine over there. The engine and box went into something else, and various other bits got saved off it. But every single one of these that I've bought, I've had a nightmare to buy. So now Howard's gone very red here. So Steva, who used to own that very red one, also owned this. I saw him restore it over 3 years. I said to him, if you ever sell that car, please let me know. I would love to buy it from you. He said, yeah, of course, no problem. You've got first refusal. Various things happened. It was passed over to Howard. The message wasn't passed on, and it was sold to somebody else, which I was not happy about. So I tracked down the new owner and rang him. I managed to find his number. I rang him. He was like, I have not even driven this car home, and I've got somebody ringing wanting to buy it. Anyway, within a week, I'd negotiated with him, and I'd managed to buy the car. And it was up in Newcastle. Okay, I'm in Banbury. So I go down to the train station, going up there, and the points have failed 100 yards, and I'm not joking, out of the station. I'm like, right, okay, great. This is not a good start. It takes me 3 hours to get to London. I've now missed my connection. Okay, so I'm like, right, how do I get up to Newcastle? It's 1 o'clock, it's now 8 o'clock. Get on the next train, fly all the way up to Newcastle. We get there, and I'm thinking, right, I'm not going to get this car home tonight. I'll book a hotel, and we'll drive home, be fine. And the guy came over, picked me up from the train station in a Calibra in an SC6, and we went back, and I got to his house, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and I've got my phone out, and I've got all the bank details, and I go to send him the money for the car, and it pops, no. The app cannot be used now because we're doing an update. I'm like, right. I need to transfer you many thousands of pounds, and I can't do that. And the hotel I booked is about 100 miles south. Turns out he was quite a nice man. We had a few beers, and next thing I know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about Vauxhalls. I end up falling asleep on his sofa. 7 o'clock in the morning, transferring the cash, get in the car. I'm now driving back down from Newcastle. I've got the wife on the phone. She's going crazy. I'm like, yes, I'm back. Race all the way back, park it up on the driveway. Forget that it auto locks itself, and I've left the keys in there. It goes doot, doot, and locks itself. I'm like, oh my God, right, how do I get into this? I eventually managed to get into the car. I stand back, I look at it, I'm like, yes. Finally got. I've been after a Calibra Turbo, by the way, for about 10 years. I finally got it. Get in the car to put it in the garage, and I start the engine, and the engine warning light came on. You've got to love a C20 haven't you? So that's the story of my Calibra Turbo, and why I love Calibra so much. I think they're fantastic cars. Yeah, I've always had good memories with the Calibra. I know many of them are dispersed in many of the cars that are here today. They were parts cars. They were very popular parts cars. They're a bit of an unsung hero. But yeah, I'm really pleased to see my Calibra Turbo. I also wanted to take this opportunity, as there are a few if you're around. You can see a few guys here in high vis. Tracy, Hayley, Robin, Richard, Adam, Carl, there's a few others as well. All of these guys are volunteers today. They're all helping me make sure you're all safe and this show runs smoothly. Can I ask you all to put your hands together? Thank you to these guys. Thank you. And I mean that. Guys, coming up for you, we are going to have VXR Owners. If you've been to the VXR Owners stand, it's just blue and a bit of red, but they've brought 40 cars with them, and I've told them they can't all come in, so they're going to come in next for you. So there you are, ladies and gents. I've indulged myself in the Calibras. Thank you very much for letting me indulge myself. We start now with VXR. Come over to you. Oh dear. We have been talking for many weeks, and you were saying to me, how many cars can I have? I was like, well, your stand can take 80 if you want. You've got to say there. You're like, I might have that many. You've literally got the biggest stand here, and Fabulous display.
Thank you very much.
Much work. There you go. Absolutely. How much work do you put into the club?
If I said absolutely none and it was a piece of cake, I would be lying.
And I think that sums up. It couldn't be any further from there, could it? And this is yours behind. This is it a silver lightning? Is that right?
It is indeed. Yep.
And you've done a fair bit on this. I remember hearing about it at Bewley because you threw the kitchen sink at it to get it back on the road, if I remember right.
Yeah, 12 years of ownership, so it's had all manner of different things, including colour-coded pipework under the bonnet, now with the bonnet staying closed because it's not very clean. It's had all different colours over the years. It's had pink accents, blue accents, and it's now had a little bit of a grown-up throw with bowlers recently.
Fair enough. Why did you go grown up?
I don't know, I think it was that turning 30 thing, but I decided colours were a thing of the past and that I should grow up, and so should my car, really.
Fair enough. I like the fact that the car should grow up. The car shouldn't change. I'm not going to get a more grown up car, I'm just going to make the car more grown up. We should use that approach more often. Tell me about VXR Owners Club.
Okay, VXR Owners Club was founded in 2016. I took it on in 2019, just before COVID. During COVID, we then started to try and build the club, and since then we've gone from just under 10,000, we're now just under 400 away from 20,000 members. It's amazing me every day. We've now got the Facebook, we've got the Instagram, a TikTok, we've got the merchandise shop. We have now closed tickets for Santa Pod on the 4th of June, where we have a full 100 car stand. So I am completely blown away with what the club is becoming.
You know what my next question's going to be, don't you?
No, I don't.
You got 100 cars going to Santa Pod?
Yeah.
Vauxhall 24, which I'm going to tell you about in about half an hour. Can you get more than 100 here?
Like a challenge.
That's your challenge. I want more than 100. Even if it's 101, I'll be happy. And no, you're not going to bring all of them into the arena. I'd need to corner off all of the stations to get you in.
If I'm getting 101, we're having them in here.
All of them?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. We'll do you a through parade of 101 VXRs. You up for that? You saw it here. We're going to do a parade of 101 VXRs through the. If you get 100 more, 101 coming through. Now, is this one yours?
With my business partner, Chris.
You share it with your business partner, so is this almost like an cars?
Yeah, promo car.
Fantastic. Talk me through your promo car.
Right, so it's actually bone stock power, stock under the bonnet, bar a few pipes and things. It's got a wide arch kit, custom headlights. We put a mini grille in it, like bonnet vent, just to be different. It's got the TRC body kit on it. It's Nardo grey, obviously, but it's got a diamond burst lacquer, which you won't see very well without the sun. Full custom interior. Range Rover Velar door handles.
Oh, that's cool. Did you see that then? Look how smug he was there. He goes, yeah, watch this. Look at that.
It was a lot of work, so we're quite proud of it. Yeah, everything's custom. It's been completely rebuilt from the ground up. It's got new subframes in it, new bearings, new brakes, brake lines, everything.
When you started designing your promo car, did you choose a Corsa VXR or did it just pop up? Why did you go for a Corsa VXR?
We've always been Vauxhall nuts. We've got another one over there. I've got two more at home. And this was the sort of little hot hatch that we fancied. We've done a couple of the older Corsas and a couple of Astras. And we decided to go a bit mad with this one in terms of stylings. It is a show car. And I think, to be fair, because of that Vauxhall heritage, we felt comfortable with it. So, don't want to advertise something we're not good at.
Absolutely. What I would love to see is what you guys would do with the new Astra GSe.
Yeah, to be fair, we'd probably give it a go. Vauxhall, if you're out there, if you want to sponsor us to do something, you know, always like to put our hand to something new, that's for sure.
Hey, look, the sun's come out. Now you can see your gorgeous glittery paint.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's a bit flashy, but as I say, it's designed to try and get some attention. So.
Well, exactly. If it's a demo car, then you don't want it to be boring, do you?
Absolutely, 100%. But you know, the old interior is all completely custom and everything as well.
It looks fabulous in there. In fact, I'll tell you a very quick story. Very quick. Years ago, I used to work for an Italian car company, Ferrari. I'm not allowed to say it because of various things, but and I don't talk about it too much. Going, oh, look at him, he's gloating and so forth. But no. The interesting story with this is I worked in the PR office, and I was tasked with ordering the brand new F12 Berlinetta, and it had to be their PR car. And I had to walk into the MD's office with 3 different specifications. And one of the colours that came out on that car was this matte grey. Beautiful colour. And he said, I want one of them to have that. So I did these 3 separate specifications, and the colour that we eventually went with was red. I was like, he said, which one do you think? I said, red. We're going to go for red. And he's like, why? The grey is like the new colour that we want to talk about that. I was like, right, give me 10 minutes. Went down to WH Smith, came back with every car magazine that I could get and put them all down on his desk. And I went, right, have a look on there, on the front cover. Do you see one grey car? No. What colours do you see? Red, yellow, red. So we ordered a red one for that reason. So what I'm saying to you is, paint it red, okay? No, it's very good. It's very good. The glitter paintwork looks fabulous on it. You've done a really cracking job with that, because the finish on it, please come up and have a good look at this, because the finish on it is spectacular. Well done to you. You're very welcome. Right then, who owns this one? Whose is this? Is this one yours? That'd be you. First thing I want to ask you about, the wheels.
Yeah.
They're nice. Tell me more.
They was, I wanted to sell wheels, no problem. Had TD 1.2s on there, hated them. Went over to the local wheel shop, said, right, what have you got? This, bowlers, all the rest of it. They was on the shelf. My partner in crime and said, what about them? I said, no. What about them? That'd be a pig to clean. I'll do it. Sold. So, yeah, that was that. Set of wheels, got them drilled, and then they go.
What's remembering with wheels like this, because there's so many nooks and crannies in there. Wire wheels are the exact same. A nightmare to clean, a nightmare to keep tuned up as well. But I'm looking, there must be 100 little crevices in there, if not more.
Yeah, easily.
And how many times does your partner clean them?
Once every so often when his car shows. That's it.
But apart from your wheels, what else have you done?
So I bought it back end of May last year. Fine, not a problem. Just drive it, tie it up, job done. And well, it's got dent here, dent there, so we'll paint this, sod it, we'll go for a full repaint, and then so yeah, seats got done. Well, seats are getting done, they got ordered last week. Full repaint, tidied up the engine, then the gearbox let go on me. And yeah, it's just gone on and on and on. It's a love-hate relationship. I love it. It hates my bank account. It is what it is.
I think it loves your bank account. It's your bank account that hates this. But you know, they are a labour of love, and fantastic that you brought it here. It did look stunning when it came in this morning, as it does here. It's you. Come on, let's have a talk about this. Now, I can see there's a few taster bits on this. I can see there's a roll cage in there and race seats. Tell me more.
I bought it about a year ago, and it's been nothing but a pain in the arse, to be perfectly honest with you. Gearbox went, engine blew up about, well, January, so it's only been back in about a month. I separated the ring gear off the crank, so it's
How did you do that? 80 mile an hour, dropped it to second gear by mistake, so it just went pop. But it's back now, and it's better, bigger and faster, and yeah, it's a weapon. So
what's it putting out?
It's about 350 at the moment, so we're going bigger power, bigger turbo, bigger injectors, and a better map. So
nice. Well, I'm sure this will be, unless you blow it up again, part of the VXR 101 parade.
Definitely, we're definitely part of that. So it's
very good. No, it looked great coming in, sounded great, lovely to see that. Right, who are our owners here? Come on over, because we've got a few more cars to get in before we close the arena and let you all go around and have a look at the museum. Tell us what we've got here.
So it's a Astra VXR Arctic edition. Owned it about a year now. I've done a few mods on the engine. Got a few more happening next month, and getting it mapped.
Before you had this, were you part of the VXR Owners Club?
No.
How has buying this car and becoming part of the VXR Owners Club impacted you?
Mentally, quite a lot. And I was not in a good place before this, and it's nice to make some friends and get out and meet new people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lottie does a tremendous, look, she's tearing up here now, but she does a tremendous amount for the club. It's a brilliant club that I have immense respect for, and you know, you always bring out fantastic cars. I saw this was an Arctic edition, and obviously you've done a couple of bits to it as well. Put your own stamp on it. What's next?
A bit like Darren, so bigger turbo. We're going to Giz Motorsport to get it remapped. So on the outside I'm pretty much done. It's just all under the bonnet now.
Fabulous. Right, well, we'll find out more about that. Now then, this one's yours, isn't it? Now, come. We're going to address the elephant in the room.
But it is, because all underneath, the subframe, the brakes, the suspension, the gearbox is all off the Corsa VXR and the interior.
Okay, we'll let you off, even though it's an Adams plural.
But the Adam S was only named the S because the Corsa come out at the same time, and they didn't want to do it, so they didn't want to ruin the Corsa VXR.
Gotcha. All right, fair enough. I'll let you off. Can I suggest a mod?
Go on then.
Rather than calling the Adams plural, peel that off and write VXR next to it.
Adam S.
But it's Adams.
I know. it's a baby VXR.
It is. No, it's a very cool.
And Astra had a baby.
Yes, and I imagine it's a bit as antisocial as if they had. Yeah. It's your wife's car. So have you done many mods to it?
It's got a big intercooler and exhaust at the moment, but it's got loads of other stuff planned.
Go on.
Well, uprated turbos, Courtney for software and stuff like that.
Nice. I can't wait to see that. I do love a little pocket rocket like that. That's fantastic. Right, we're going to come on to these last two back here. I did try and squeeze you on. You can blame these guys who took up all the space. This one it was.
Yes.
Yes. Air ride?
Yes. Say air ride.
Talk me through everything. Hang on, whoa, stop. The speakers in the back of your car are bigger than the speakers I'm using for the show, and they are literally against the back of your seats.
Yes, they are. They are pushing 10,000 watt RMS. I'm running them off a M20K1 Vibe amp, so they are pretty loud.
Have you got to like warm them up, or can we just hear them?
If you want to hear them, I can put them up now.
Do you want to hear them? Yeah. Go on then. That's fantastic. We'll turn it out because there is genuinely up there's a wedding going on right now, wedding reception. That's quite alright. That hairstyle suits you. I really hope they weren't doing their speeches then. Whoops. Right then, we come on to you then. So, how it is your stereo?
It's not really about the stereo on this one.
Right, tell me more.
So it's a Corsa VXR with a Garrett GTX 2867R. It's pushing 401 brake horsepower on high boost and 315 on low boost.
What's high boost?
Everything.
Yeah. What PSI are we talking?
26 to 28.
That's quite a lot, because what were these, 1.6?
Yeah, it's still 1.6.
I'm assuming that all the internals can take that, or if you're not done it, you're just going to blow the bottom end out.
It would have been blown out a long time ago if I had it. So yeah, it's all fully forged, fully built. Everything's done to it, really.
Why did you go that route? Why didn't you go, you know, mobile DJ over here?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I wanted something silly, and I've done that. So.
Well, if you want something even sillier, you could have that if you want. Look at the man. All he does is smile, because that's all he can do, because he's spent all his money on speakers. It shoots out flames inside. Oh, outside. Okay. Yeah, no, we won't start popping and banging, because they really will get upset with me. No, this is one of the things I wanted to finish on here, ladies and gents, was the VXR Owners Club, because they are just so much fun, and for me that's what cars are about. They should be fun, and it's worth thinking about that, like, as we go on and like next generations and so on and so forth come along. We won't have cars like these, you know, these cars like early 2000s, 2010s and so forth. We're not going to have cars like this again. They're going to be like the Astra GSe over there, and it's great that the Astra GSe is coming. I'm not saying it's not, because they're actually trying to put some fun in there. But ASBO cars like this, where is he? Where's VXR? I saw one of you got ASBO written on the side of it. Him up there. You know, him there. You know, they're not going to be. You know, they're literally trying to suck the fun out of it. But I'm pleased to see that Vauxhall are not having it, and they are still trying to put a bit of fun out there. And then of course you've got lunatics like this who come along and go, right, let's run a 1.6 at 400 horsepower and a stereo at 4 million decibels or something. Now, it's been fabulous to see these guys here. We've got one more thing coming up in the arena, which is our modified cars. We're going to have a look at some various different modified cars that have come to the show, and then I'm going to tell you all about Vauxhall 2024. We're going to start down here. This is, do you know what, I love these things. I absolutely love these things. You don't see them anymore either, I bet. A Frontera, tell us what we've got.
We have a 2004 Frontera, registered on the 1st of March, so really it's a 2003 body. It's one of the last produced, and this was a search and rescue vehicle for much of its life.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, all kitted out, fully working snorkel and spotlights.
So all of this that's on there now is as it was, right?
Yeah, I bought it like this about a year ago.
That's cool. Where on earth did you find it?
About London area. It took about an hour's odd trip to go and find it.
Did you see it on eBay, or how did you find out about it?
I actually found it on Facebook Marketplace. I found it before. I couldn't afford it with the insurance. During the COVID time, everything skyrocketed. About 6 months later, I refound it, and it was a lot cheaper, and I thought, I want it. I've been looking for about a year and a half for one. I'm going to grab it while I can.
Absolutely. And Vauxhall sort of in your family, because John, just behind us here, obviously Calibras and various other things as well. Why did you want a Frontera?
We used to have a Monterey in the family, and I absolutely love the vehicle. It stuck with me. I knew a Monterey was going to be a bit too big at my age, so I went with its younger sister and found a perfect car.
Oh, it's mega. I do like it. Who likes Frontera? When was the last time we saw a Frontera? It's like, people say that all the time, when's the last time we saw a Calibra? Well, there was 30 of them there, but this is the first Frontera I've seen here today.
Yeah, I've been to about 5-6 car shows in the last year with her. I've only ever been at one car show where there's been another Frontera, and that was a Sport. I've never seen another estate at a car show.
I do like the early ones though, the early 3 doors, the real sort of butch little short things. But, you know, a Frontera is a fantastic family mover, isn't it? Not that I imagine you've got a family to move around in it just yet, but, you know.
Yeah, you're not going to find another one like her. If you do, I'll be very shocked.
And I no doubt you'll be like, I want that one too. I want that one too. No, wonderful to see that. Now then, this is an interesting car. Come here, sir. Come here. Tell me about this.
The son I fetched it from London. It's one of two. The other one went and blew up in the film of the Iron Lady.
So this was in the film The Iron Lady?
Yeah, one of the two. So the owner, previous two owners before we bought this one, he had the two. The one was filmed, it's all filmed in Manchester, and turns around, and this came on eBay. I got eBay. And
That's not a bad price, is it? It's under £1,000.
And the person who wanted it before on eBay backed out, so the son had the second picking. So we got it picked up in London, and we got it back home, and now it's going around all the shows.
Fantastic, we've got a film star, there you go. Wonderful to see. Brilliant, so you've had that for just 10 years now, just over 10 years. That's nice to see. See, there you go, look, every car has got a story. The other thing I wanted to bring out is not just looking at the car and tell you about the car, but tell about the story. Whose is this? Come on, come. I have a soft spot for these. My first car was a Mark IV Estate, the best car I've ever owned, and I'd sell it forever. It didn't look anything like this though. Tell me about this.
I've had this for about 16, 17 years now. It started off as a family car and then turned into a project.
So talk me through what you do. Let's go bumper to bumper.
So we've got Pro Drive kit for front and rear bumper. We have a 1.7 DTI Isuzu engine, which is the earlier engine, better one. That's got a hybrid turbo running 137 brake. Can't remember the total figures, but it's the same as a 2 litre turbo. It gets up and goes, it's on air. Engine inlets revised, bits, as I say, 16 years. Sound system, yeah, full stainless.
And you're literally, are you got any more plans for it? Are you still modifying it, or are you like, no, I want to leave it now?
I can't find any more bits.
Well, you might want to take a leaf out of Lottie's book one day. You might look at it and go, rather than buying a more mature car, I'll just make my car more mature or immature. You could go the other way.
I have got the family Vectra as well, so I've just...
You've just started on that. You've just started on it. Very good. Now then, let's talk about this. Very interesting car, this. Come on up. I have seen this car probably at 6 or 7 different shows, and every single time they're like, that's very interesting, I really want to talk to you about it. And I finally get the opportunity in front of a few people, so tell me about this.
It's the 25th anniversary design exercise by VauxALL.
And it was a design exercise for
Ellesmere Port 25th anniversary car. They needed a car for us well for the 87 motor show.
Fantastic. So obviously we've got this blended paintwork. Don't ever scratch it because that would be a nightmare to get that repaired. But let's walk through it. What have they done to celebrate 25?
They started off with a polar white GTE straight off a production line and stripped it. They added the modified shirt wide-bodied kit to it. All the panels on the kit are modified except the rear bumper. And then they got Connolly to do the interior. 3M Imont did the paintwork because VauxALL couldn't handle it. And the wheels came from a CD design, so they got a lot of suppliers to supply the parts for them to produce the vehicle.
It's so cool this. So what, 87 this?
87, it's an 86 car, 87 motor show it was at, and it's registered 88. After that it went to a dealer in Shields as a display in his garage.
And how have you come to own it?
It was on eBay.
You just saw it?
It was on eBay 3 times, nobody bought it, and then a dealer bought it at an auction, got it through its first MOT. It went originally sold with 50 miles on the clock. Its first MOT was a 68, and I put it through its second MOT at 69 miles. And I've made quite a few modifications to make it usable on the road. It wasn't really usable.
What have you done?
I took the actual wheel spacers off for a start, because VauxALL had put them on, they weren't concentric to the centre of the wheel. They just put bolted aluminium blanks onto the wheel and then added the wheel onto it. And then I modified the front bumper because the way it was splitting itself in half as it went down the road. so I've actually strengthened it up behind and keep it looking original as I possibly can. They've also added orange indicator repeaters to the wings, which stuck out like orange pimples, so I took them off and put smoke lenses in with orange lamps to keep it, orange balls to keep it looking more like it should be.
Fantastic. I mean, we talk about Vauxhalls and they would have gone through the Max Power era and so forth, and you know, people still modify as you. So with yours, you put your own stamp on it and so forth. This is VauxALL, like thinking about the modified scene, and you could almost imagine, you know, a lad late 90s, early 2000s building something like this, and VauxALL did it a good 10 or so years before.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to show what could be done with their car and what was available. I mean, lots of the parts do come from Germany, but they are available in this country through the dealers, Ocean UK, for instance.
No, it's such a cool car, and thank you so much for bringing it down to VauxALL. It's such a pleasure to see that. Very, very cool car, that. Please do go and have a look. It's on the Astra Mark II owners there. Now, we're talking about Vauxhalls and modified Vauxhalls and so forth, and how they've all got their own stories. I give you the Insignia Culture Group here, right? So we'll start with you, sir. Come on over, because you put a picture in the comments on one of the posts on the Vauxhall page, and people were going nuts about the grille.
Yes, they were.
So what have you got on there? Because is that the American front end?
That's the Buick Regal, which is basically the same car marketed in the USA.
Talk me through what you've done to the car and why you've gone for that front end.
I bought the car 2.5 years ago, completely standard, from a Vauxhall dealer down in Wiltshire, where I'm from, and I met those two people over there online.
Oh dear.
And it just, my wallet took a big hit.
Oh
dear. So yeah, in 2.5 years what have we done? We've done lowered Dorenza springs 40mm lower, roof wrap, windows tinted, 19-inch aftermarket alloys, the grille, Maxton front splitter, tinted rear lights, a twin exit straight through exhaust pipe, engine covers, the list goes on.
Right. Yours, yeah, you look at it, you go, I can see that, it's quite subtle, yeah, all the little bits on there are quite subtle. You have to look and then look again and you can see all the little bits. You certainly look twice at this too, yeah? You're going to look twice at this. Can I suggest that don't go drinking with them, okay? Because the next morning it might end up looking like that.
That's more than drink.
I'm not commenting. Right then, whose is this? Yours. Right, come here, my friend out of rehab. Tell me what you've done here.
Well, so you can see it's half wrapped in the purple, lowered on the coil spring, 20 alloys from X6 hybrid. Then just standard things really. Regarding the engine is really just a stage 1 map and just a cosmetic bits really.
Why did you paint half the car?
Just trying to be a bit different from everyone else, you know, so people either go for the full respray or full wrap, so I thought I might just change it a little bit, you know.
I bet when you walked in he said, right, I want to wrap half the car. Is it wrapped or painted? Wrapped.
It was painted.
It was painted. So I want to paint half the car. Did they look and go, right, okay, you want to paint half of the car. Why? Run out of money. He said that. I was going to say, but I didn't. Someone said it instead of me. That's exactly what I was aiming for there.
Of course, you know.
No, it's what you wanted to do with the car, and this is one thing I would say with Vauxhalls. They do wear their modifications well.
Yeah.
What's next?
Don't know yet. Might be a change of colour for the next show.
Which side?
It has to be the same one because I've got a few cosmetic dents underneath, so they were just flattened and wrapped over.
Okay, right. Well, I can see that.
That's why you can't see it's not directly in the middle because of the damage on the roof. So I had to move it like half an inch.
Fair enough. You know when you buy an old house and you redecorate and you take the wallpaper off and you see all the years of the wallpaper coming off and off and off and off. If anyone ever buys this car, that's what they're going to say. They're going to purple, red, green, blue, yellow, purple, red, just going through them all.
You might go there next door.
Yes, well, I like this. I like the way the abuse is continued. Come on. Now, this man, you're behind Insignia Culture, if I'm right. And you used to be behind another group, which was Insignia Misfits. And I saw you guys at Simply Vauxhall last year with the brightest car I've ever seen in my life. It was so bright. It was like bright orange. I thought they can't possibly do anything more wild than that. And then you've turned up in this.
Yes. It's actually the third colour in 2 years. It was green.
You three are dangerous. I'm never going drinking with you.
Yeah.
Why have you gone for so many different colours?
Last year was fluorescent yellow, and we wasn't aware that the UV burns the paint, so it started to turn white again. So this year's new season, new colour, and here we are.
So what's next?
If the wife allows it, airbags, a bit more on the engine bay, a bigger mirror, some lights. That's about it really. It's getting to that point where I'm quite happy with it.
Well, you don't sound like you're happy with it because you've changed the colour of it 3 times in 2 years.
No more. I've been told no more. So it's staying pink.
Do you know when you call your insurance? I know we've talked about insurance a lot today, and I'm sure if you got an account manager at Abbeyfield they'd pull the hair out with you. But when you say, yeah, it was yellow, it's now pink.
They just keep charging me £30 every time I phone up to change colour, so I've stopped telling them.
No, that's wonderful. Why did you go for an Insignia?
I bought it 7 years ago. It was my daily. It still is my daily. I go to work in it every day. But my dad passed away 3 years ago. He modified cars, and I never had. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, he'd be very pleased to see this. He would. He'd be very pleased to see this. And you're doing fantastic work with Insignia Culture because you've only started that recently, haven't you, Insignia Culture? 6 weeks, because when we started off, we got Insignia Mixed Fist, and then you messaged saying, oh, the club's changed, and blah, 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 blah. I was like, it's fine, no problem, we'll get you in, you'll have a good day, I promise. And you're here. And what a way to finish our arena activities with, you know, a real collection of cars. And I wanted to finish on this to show you how well Vauxhalls do hold their mods, how different they all look, and also to sort of summarise what has been VauxALL, the first ever show. I can't believe I'm looking at the watch and it's 5 to 4 after 6 months of working on this show. We're coming to the end of the first event. So I suppose now it's time for me to tell you about next year. Would you like me to do VauxALL again? Yes. Have you had a good day today? Fantastic. So I'm very pleased to tell you that VauxALL is returning next year. Okay, it's coming, I'm pretty sure. Thank you. You could be my groupies or something next year, you know, you could cheer me on the whole day. So it's coming back next year. It's not going to be in May. We're moving the date. It's going to be in August. Okay, it's going to be warmer, I promise. It's not going to rain. I'm looking at Tom Carron, he's going to make sure of that. Also, I am talking to the museum about potentially getting you camping. Okay, so it will turn into not a full 2-day show, but a day and a half. So you'll be able to arrive the night before, you'll be able to hopefully camp all over the greens over there, you'll be able to see all your mates the night before, have a couple of beers, have a good time, and then Sunday, it's going to be on a Sunday rather than a Saturday, we can have an even bigger and an even better VauxALL. So all that's left for me to say, ladies and gents, is thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out, supporting me, putting on this show, and I hope you have all enjoyed it. Thank you so much. That means the world to me, it really does. I'm emotional there now. The video from today's show, I'm not joking, will be online tonight. I'm now going to get in that van and I'm going to edit all of the footage from 3 photographers and get this video online for you tonight, so you can watch it, you can share it with your mates. Please, please, please go back, tell all your mates about the show. If you've enjoyed it, tell everyone about it so we can make it even bigger and better. Equally, if there's anything you've not been happy with, come and tell me. Okay, I don't bite and I want to hear what's not gone right so that I can make it bigger and better for you next year. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of your day. The museum's open, collection centre's open. If you've not seen the Heritage Collection, it's worth seeing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Now I've just seen my daughter. Hello, Elodie. Hello, darling. Come here then. What am I doing? I'm presenting a show, darling. Hello. Do you want to say hello?
No.